His most inspirational person are his parents. Message to underclassmen: make the most out of every situation. His plans in college are to play football at a four-year university. Tonight he is walking with his mom, Michelle, and his father, Keith. His other family members are his brothers, Brandon, Michael, sister Jenna, and sister Alyssa. And his message to his family tonight is thank you for all that you've done to get me to this point. Brandon Cobb. Number 5, Neil Jansen, safety and running back. Most inspirational person, his dad. He has always been his number one supporter and has pushed him to become the best man he can be. He has a saying, this is where you separate, and that has gotten me to work harder at his goals. Goals for the future: to have a breakout year at San Jose State and pursue a career in kinesiology. Walking with him tonight are Cheryl Casey, Woodard Jansen, and sister Sophia. Message to his family: I want to thank my family for coming to all of my games and motivating me to be a better player in person. Neil Jansen. Next up, number 6, Zachary Mata, middle linebacker. Favorite inspirational person: Rocket Rico. Message to underclassmen: don't take for granted all the little things like our practices, pregame meals, film sessions, and other things we do together. And come at everything with a purpose of getting better. Goals for the future: major in kinesiology and become a sports psychologist. Who's walking with him? Mom Nina and Dad Carlos. Message to his family: I love you guys more than I could ever show and appreciate your constant support. Zachary Mata. Next up is Jonathan Jd Haas, number 7, cornerback and safety. His favorite inspirational person is Cam Chancellor. Message to underclassmen: don't take things too seriously and remember to always have fun. And whoever wears number 7 next year better ball out. Goals for the future: graduate college with a business degree and eventually start my own business. Walking with him is his mom, Shannon, and his father, David, sisters Megan and Amanda, and nephew, Aiden. Message to his family: thank you for always supporting me with everything and always turning the car back around when I forgot my cleats. Jd Haas. Next up, number 10, Tomas Ramirez, running back. Favorite inspirational person is his past self. Message to the underclassmen: make the most of your opportunities. Goals for the future: get a good paying job. Walking with him tonight is his mom, Maria, dad, Tomas, sisters, Vanessa, Yesenia, Janice, brother-in-law, Luis. Message to his family: thank you for always supporting me. Number 10, Tomas Ramirez. Number 15, wide receiver, Justin Thompson. His most inspirational person is his dad. Message to underclassmen: appreciate your time in high school because time goes by fast. Goals for the future: attend a community college to study fire sciences in order to pursue a career as a firefighter. Walking with him tonight is his mom, Debbie, his father, Terry, sister Jordan, Grandpa Jerry, and Grandma Carol. His message to his family is thank you for always caring about me and helping me get myself together when I am struggling or need help. I appreciate your support and dedication all throughout high school. Your commitment to my academics, athletics, and overall well-being does not go unnoticed. Number 15, Justin Thompson. Number 17, Nate Scott, wide receiver. Favorite inspirational person: Ricky Bobby. How he overcame his fears to get back on top. Message to underclassmen: a wise man once told me, life's a garden, dig it. Goals for the future: work hard, serve Jesus, and have fun. College plans: electrical trade school. Walking with him tonight, Mom Jody and Father Tim and brother Kyle. Message to his family: thank you, family, for putting up with me, taking care of me, teaching me good morals, and laughing at my jokes. Nate Scott, number 17. Dylan Gallipo, number 20, a wide receiver. Most inspirational people: his mom and his dad. Message to underclassmen: don't worry what others think of you because their opinion of you won't affect your future if you don't let it. College plans: attend somewhere local to study mechanical engineering. Walking with him tonight, Mom Jeanette, Father Steve, Sister Macy, and Grandma Jane. Message to his family: thank you for being an amazing example on how to live life and for raising me to become the man I am today. Number 20, Dylan Gallipo. Number 21, A.J. Len, defensive tackle, number 31. Most inspirational person: his mom and dad. Message to underclassmen: keep doing what you can when you change and take advantage of it, and the time flies, and don't mess anything up for high school because it goes by fast, and once it's gone, it's gone. College plans, get a high school education and the degree I want, and hopefully play some ball. Walking with him tonight is Mom Linda Len, Father Jim Len. Message to his family, thank you for all the love and support through this long journey. Number 31, AJ Len.
I told you.
Number 36, Mateo Palmerian, linebacker. Favorite inspirational person, Ray Lewis. Message to underclassmen, make the most of your time, it flies, and have fun. I will miss you guys. Goals in the future, to become an engineer. Who's walking with him? His mom, Norma Crookshank, father, Robert Palmerian, sister, Juliana, girlfriend, Rochelle. Message to his family, thank you guys for the support that you have shown me along the way. I love you guys. Mateo Palmerian. Next up, Muhammad Hussein, Big Mo, number 45, linebacker and tight end. Most inspirational person, Muhammad Ali. Goals for the future, attend a 4U university. Walking with him tonight, Mom Tahani, Dad Basil, and all of his siblings and some cousins. His message to his family is, I appreciate everything you guys have done for me, and thank you for coming out to support me. Muhammad Hussein. Number 47, Jason Mackinaw. Number 47, linebacker, running back. Most inspirational person is his brother. Message to underclassmen, when life gets hard, keep on marching on. Goals for the future, to go to a junior college and transfer to a university. Walking with him tonight is his mom, Elena, dad, Adrian, brother, Mercera, and Roger. Message to his family, I love you, and thank you for always being there for me. Jason Mackinaw. Number 51, Matthew Alva, defensive end. Most inspirational person in his life is his mother. His message to the underclassmen, always be yourself, don't let others change who you are. His goals for the future are to become an aerospace mechanic. Marching with him tonight is Ileana Alva, Adriana Amesqua, is Aunt Sheeny Alva, brother Brandon Amesca, and brother Anna Romero. Message to his family, for me, is like a team, the most united of all, where the purpose is to love, accept, and grow together. I love you, family, very much. I wish that there'd always be joy between us, understanding, and thank you for all your support. Matthew Alva. Next up is number 52 right tackle Stephen Hansberry, also known as Big Red. His most inspirational person is Muhammad Ali. Message to underclassmen, don't count the days, make the days count. Goal for the future is to attend a 4U university. Walking with him tonight is his mom Anissa and his father Steve. His message to his family is, thank you for encouraging and supporting me throughout the years in football and as an athlete overall. I appreciate and love you all. Stephen Hansberry. Number 55, Carson Cenamon, also known as the Swiss Army knife. He's a defensive end and center. His most inspirational person is brother Dylan. His message to the underclassmen is, cherish every moment you have in high school and on the football team. Your 4 years will go by way faster than you think. His goals for the future is to become a police officer and to attend Cypress College. Walking with him tonight is his mom April, brother Dylan, and uncle Eric. He wants to thank his mom for raising me and his brother for always putting us first. I want to thank my brother for always being there for me and showing me how to be a good man. I wouldn't be who I am today without you. I love you both. Carson Cenamon. Number 88, Josh Middleton, tight end. Most inspirational person, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Message to the underclassmen, do all the hard work early so it pays off later. Goals in the future, to attend the San Diego State University. His mom Samantha is walking with him, as well as his father Sebastian. His message to his family, I will forever appreciate the lessons you have taught me and the opportunity you both have produced for me. Josh Middleton, number 88, tight end. Number 85, Xavier Torres, also known as Sam Blaster or X, defensive tackle. Favorite inspirational person is Rob Machado. Message to the underclassmen, enjoy it, blink and you'll miss it. Goals for the future, to attend Long Beach City College and study sports medicine. Walking with him tonight is his mom Andrea and his dad Tony. Message to his family is, I appreciate all the memories you have shared with me. Thank you for making me who I am today and supporting me no matter what. Number 85, Xavier Torres. Number 71, Makoa Eklevia, defensive tackle. Favorite inspirational person, the legendary coach Jeff Crooks. Message to underclassmen, always be there for each other and never stop having fun. Being a team means you guys are a family. I miss you guys, even you, Rocco. Goals for the future, join the Army. Walking with him tonight is his mother, Deborah Aclevia, sisters Kanani and Kanoa. Thank you for everything you do for me and all the support. I love you guys. Have given me love no matter what and supported me always. I love you all. Makoa Aclevia. Ethan Rowan, number 74. D-line, favorite inspirational person, Eddie Hall, for his motivation and drive. Message to the underclassmen, enjoy every moment because it goes by really fast. Plans to attend junior college in the future and the fire academy. Walking with him tonight is mother Maricela and father Grant, as well as his sisters Emma and Michaela. Message to his family, I'm grateful to have a family that even when I'm annoyed and upset, you guys always find a way to make me happy. Ethan Rowan. Number 77, George Iolome, left tackle. Most inspirational person, himself. Message to underclassmen, your future is right in front of you. Grab it and don't let go. Goals for the future. Work for myself and impact people across the world. College plans, go to a really good university. Walking with him tonight, his mother and father, Vicky Iolome and David Iolome. Message to family, thank you for providing me with everything, allowing me to play football even though you were scared I would get hurt. Allowing me to play football and lead my second family, and for that, I'm eternally grateful. George Iolome. Number 79, Michael Juarez, Jr., offensive line, right tackle. Most inspirational person, Muhammad Ali. Message to underclassmen, everyone plays a role in the team, whether you are a scout player or the all-star. Next time you're useless, you're not. You are helping in some way. Work hard. Plans in the future, becoming an engineer. Walking with him tonight is his mom, Erica, dad, Michael, brother Jason, and sister Emily. Message to his family, thank you for being on my side and always supporting me. I love all of you. Michael Juarez, Jr. Number 84, Aiden Gomez, defensive end, wide receiver. Most inspirational person in his life is Grandpa. Message to underclassmen, never give up your dreams and always do what's best for you. Wants to study fire science and join the fire academy. Walking with him tonight, his mom, Ronnie Gomez, and father, Adriel Gomez. Message to his family, thank you for the support, and to my father for being there with me every step of the way. Aiden Gomez. Number 91, Waine Teanaga, defensive end. Most inspirational person, his younger siblings. I want to be a better person every day to set the perfect example. Message to underclassmen, if you are always worried about crushing the ants beneath you, you won't be able to walk. Goals for the future. Wants to continue a life of happiness and success. One day to be able to repay all those who have supported him in his upbringing. He hopes to further his education and study fine arts as well as play football at the next level. Walking with him tonight is his mom, Jane, and his dad, Wayne, and the rest of his family. His message to his family, I am forever grateful for your sacrifice and support throughout my life. There's no one on earth I would replace for all of you. I could go on and on with a million words to explain my feelings, but to keep it short, alofa atu. Waine Teanaga. And that is our senior football class of 2021 at Cypress High School. All the best to you, gentlemen, always.
Now we're going to be just picking up sounds from your mic. Okay.
Are you going down below?
Hello, everyone. This is Coach Kevin Dole, and welcome to exciting Cypress Centurion football live from Handel Stadium on the campus of Western High School in beautiful Anaheim, California. Tonight, the Centurions renew their ancient rivalry with the school down the street, the John F. Kennedy High School Fighting Irish. This, of course, is one of the greatest rivalry games in Orange County, if not all of Southern California. The Centurions come into the game tonight with a 6-2 overall record and holding a firm grip on the Empire League at 3-0 with impressive victories over both Tustin and Pacific in the past 2 weeks. Additionally, it is senior night for the Centurions, so they want to go out and beat their rivals. Cypress wants to make sure that they win one for the seniors and all of the other players on the team. Kennedy comes into tonight's tilt with a 4-3 overall record and a 1-2 record in the Empire League. They are, of course, very upset-minded this evening and would love nothing more than to beat the Centurions. Coach Dan Urbanos has done a great job guiding the Irish in his second season at the helm, and it looks like we can look forward to seeing Kennedy return to prominence soon. As usual, I'm joined by Coach Mo Patios, who has a lot of injury updates for us, as well as the keys to tonight's game. So what can you tell us, Coach?
Well, not just injuries. How about some adversity? Let's start with Kennedy. They had to cancel 2 of their preseason games due to COVID protocol, 2 games in which they would have been heavy favorites against Pioneer and Sonora. Had they had the opportunity to play those games, they could very easily have come into tonight's game with a 7-1 record. Then to make matters worse, they lose their starting quarterback for 3 weeks, Alex Herrera, again, due to COVID protocol. They had to replace him with the freshman who played well, but let's be honest, when you're talking about the difference between a varsity senior quarterback and freshman, it's night and day. But I think for Kennedy, the most devastating injury tonight will be to their all-county wide receiver Hunter Benton, who we just found out before kickoff will not be playing. Here's a guy who has over 57 receptions, over 1,000 yards receiving, and 17 touchdowns. It's hard to replace a player of that quality, and Kennedy is dearly going to miss him. But don't go crying to Coach Feldman about injuries, because he has enough problems of his own. Justin Thompson, their outstanding wide receiver, he's 50-50 at best. Xavier Torres, their defensive lineman, he's 50-50 at best. We know Dylan Eldridge, their all-county quarterback, he's out for the season. Jordan Morrow, the offensive lineman, he's out for the season. But the 2 most recent injuries are to starting linebackers Zach Mata and Nathan Schneider. And, you know, there's an old cliche in sports, next man up. But when you're talking about football, there's just so many nuances and, you know, the importance of repetitions and experience. You can put another guy in there, but to replace the quality of players we're talking about tonight, that's going to be a challenge for both these coaches. So it'll be interesting to see which team can overcome not only the adversity, but the injuries.
Yeah, by the time you get to the 9th game of the season, I mean, there's obviously going to be some injuries that are going to factor into each week's game plan. But it seems like for both of these squads, you know, are trying to make a late season push and get into CIF, definitely some critical injuries going on right now that, you know, both teams are going to have to overcome some adversity if they're going to win tonight.
Yeah, and look, wear and tear is a part of football. And you're right, as the season progresses, the injuries are going to mount up. But it just seems like both of these teams have been snake bit at key positions. And again, you're right. Who can overcome we talked about the starters and the key players, but I think the difference tonight might be which backup player, which replacement can step up and make a play, because the fact of the matter is, whether you have your entire roster or all backups, the game's going to be played one way or the other. So which team can step up with their key players and make a difference?
Gotta love this rivalry. This is one of those games that no matter who the home team is, the game is always played here at Handel Stadium at Western High School, because this is the home field for both teams. And as fate would have it, it happens to be senior night for the Centurions, and Cypress is the home team. And this is kind of like the UCLA-USC game, where both teams get to agree to wear their home uniforms, the Centurions in all blue, and the Irish in their yellow, green, and yellow ensemble. Really cool, kind of like when USC and UCLA does that, like I said.
Yeah, SC and UCLA did that way back in the day, stopped for whatever reason, and then they've reignited that tradition. Cypress and Kennedy picked up on that and decided to do that themselves. I think it was Sean Clark and Rick Feldman who came up with that idea, but it's great to see the school colors. They're both in their homes. It's not going to be hard to differentiate between the two, so why not?
Yeah, that's awesome. Cypress to kick off. Miles Weber on the field, kicking from the left hash to Kennedy. And we're underway. Kickoff goes about the 14 to Kennedy, where it was returned. Breaking left. Nice little return there. Looks like we're going to have about a 10-yard return for Kennedy there. The returner on the play was number 80, Vincent Navarro. Senior 5'10", 140 for the Fighting Irish. We're going to take over at their own 24 with 11:46 in the first quarter. Cyprus defense takes the field. Of course, led by defensive coordinator Jeff Crooks. Be interesting to see what the Centurions do tonight without their very gifted and talented linebacker Nathan Schneider, who suffered a broken arm a couple weeks ago. Kennedy in a 3-by-1 formation. Quarterback and pistol, snaps, fakes the handoff, goes to his left, has a nice little gain. Looks like he's going to get pushed out of bounds after a gain of about 7. Alex Herrera, a nice little run there for the 6'3", 185-pound senior quarterback for the Fighting Irish. And already we have the whistles from the referees.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Kennedy changes their offensive game plan. They've been a pass-heavy team all season long, but again, with Benton out tonight, they have a very effective running back in Cody Matsumiya, who already has 800 yards on the season. If he can have a good game tonight against Cyprus, and then next week against Pacifica, they'd have a 1,000-yard rusher. And to have a 1,000-yard rusher in this day and age with the spread offenses, as much as teams like to throw the ball, that's pretty impressive. So it'll be interesting to see how many touches Cody gets tonight. Because if Kennedy can get him going, that might be the key for them scoring the upset.
And 1,000 yards in only 10 games. It's not a 16 or 17 game schedule like the NFL or a 12 or 14 game schedule like college. Coach Feldman on the field, check on his injured player.
Boy, the last thing any of these teams needs is another injured player. We've pretty much run off the whole laundry list of players who are going to be out tonight, and it looks like we got another player limping off the field.
It looks like Tayonga, a little shaken up on the play. Cyprus trainer Marcy Griffiths helps him off the field. Going to bring up 2nd down and 3 for the Fighting Irish at their own 32-yard line. Herrera leads his troops out, 3-by-1 formation to the Cyprus sideline for the Fighting Irish. Herrera to throw, has a receiver open, looks like he's going to have enough distance for a first down, and he does. Referees give him the spot at the 35 of Cyprus, where it will be 1st and 10 for Kennedy. Nice little quick route there for the Irish.
You know, just because Hunter Benton's out doesn't mean Kennedy can't continue to throw the ball. They've done it all year long. Of course, Alex Herrera, who was out for a couple weeks, has been rested. So, you know, we talk about the wear and tear of a long season. You got a quarterback who had to miss, again, due to COVID protocol. He's got some fresh legs, so it's probably not a bad idea to see if you can get him going early on in the game.
Herrera in a pistol formation, 3-by-1 set again for the Irish. Little motion, little draw play, looks like a give, and Cyprus has it all balled up. Cyprus seemed to be able to shoot the A and the B gap there and get to the running back quite efficiently and effectively.
Yeah, and I think if you're Cyprus, realizing that Kennedy's a little depleted in their passing game, they're going to load the box up. Even though they have 2 linebackers out, they're still going to go with the 2 backups and do what they can to stop the run and force Kennedy to throw the ball. Because if there's an advantage that Cyprus has, it's with their back 7. Of course, we saw them shut down Pacifica last week, a team that averaged 48 points a game. Cyprus held them to just 8.
2nd down and 10 for Kennedy. Snap to Herrera, rolls right to throw. Looks well defended. Being chased by Carson Cenamon. Gets the ball away, almost intercepted by Neil Jansen. Nice pass defense by the Centurions. 3rd down and 10 for Kennedy.
Yeah, Alex Herrera did a really nice job of getting outside the pocket and buying time, but anytime you throw the ball against your body like that, it's very dangerous. And Neil Jansen had his hand on the ball, almost had himself his 3rd interception of the season.
Excuse me, that was Devin Cobb on the defense. Great pursuit there by Carson Cenamon, who's a little dinged up himself. Spoke with him earlier this week. He's maybe nursing a little ankle injury, but there's no way he was going to miss this Kennedy game as a senior. Same formation for Kennedy. 3-by-1, pistol formation. Barrera takes a snap back to throw, 3rd and 10. Looks over the middle, well defended. Neil Jansen breaking the pass up, going to bring out a 4th down situation for Kennedy, and on comes the punt team. Great first series for the Cypress defense there, Coach.
That was an outstanding job by Neil Jansen, recognizing the skinny post, jumping the route, and get his hand on it. Of course, Neil was one of the heroes of last week's game, catching that critical 4th and 5 against Pacifica late in the game to keep the Cypress drive alive, which ultimately led to their go-ahead touchdown and ultimately the win.
And speaking of Neil Jansen, he is back deep on punt return for the Centurions. High snap, nice job fielding by the punter. Short punt, Neil Jansen's going to let it bounce. A host of Kennedy defenders are there. Takes a Kennedy roll, and it's going to be down at the Cypress 25, where they will take over with 9:48 left in the first quarter.
And now the million-dollar question, who is going to play quarterback tonight for Cypress? We know Matt Morrell's been banged up all week. Of course, Elliot Lemonnier got the start against Crean Lutheran and got the win. He's actually 6-0 as a starter if you consider his freshman games. So we're a couple moments away from knowing who will be the starting quarterback for Cypress.
Looks like number 3, Matthew Morrell, leading the Cypress Centurions onto the field. Cypress in a 2x2 formation. Morrell in a shotgun formation with Neil Jansen to his right and takes a handoff, goes left, has a seam, cuts up along the Cypress sideline and brought down at the 45. A gain of 20 for Neil Jansen on the first play of the game for the Centurions.
That's a nice pickup for the Cypress offense running game. And, you know, one of the best ways to protect your quarterback is to have a good running game. So to pick up 20 yards on first down, that's huge for Cypress. The key is, can they continue to run the ball that effectively?
1st and 10 from their own 45 for the Centurions. Lining up in a tight 3-by-1 formation. Morrell has a running back to his left. It is Neil Jansen. A little trickery. Morrell to go deep. He has a receiver downfield. It's Tomas Ramirez. A little underthrown. Ramirez adjusts, catches it, splits the defenders, in for the touchdown. Tomas Ramirez, a 55-yard TD. Some trickeration from Coach Feldman. However, Matthew Morrell is shaken up on the play, so it's good news, bad news for the Centurions.
Well, I would expect anything different from Coach Feldman. He goes with a reverse pass for a touchdown. It seems like every game he's got a couple tricks plays dialed up, but you know, Matt Morrell had his receiver wide open. For whatever reason, was waiting way too long. Should have thrown it much earlier, but because he sat in the pocket, it allowed the Kennedy defender to take a shot on him. And he's down on the 30-yard line on the other side, kneeled over in pain, so we'll see if he can shake that off. But, you know, coming into this game, he was already pretty banged up as it was.
Coach Feldman approaches him with some trepidation, I suppose. Matthew Morrell does look shaken up. Meanwhile, Miles Weber on the field with the PAT team is good on conversion with 8:57 left in the first quarter. Cypress 7, Kennedy 0.
You know, you talk about putting Matt Morrell at quarterback, and here's a player who's a great athlete. He's certainly an outstanding wide receiver, but as quarterback, all those reps you get in the offseason, the summer leagues, in the two-a-days and things like that, you learn all the little nuances of the position. He waited way too long in the pocket. His wide receiver's wide open. He should have caught it and thrown it, but he waited and waited, and the pass is ultimately underthrown because it was such a underthrown pass that the receiver was able to get back, pick up, and get a touchdown. But the worst part of all that was the fact that he got blasted by the Kennedy defender, and he is still walking around very gingerly, so it'll be interesting to see if he can recover and get back on the field. He's a tough guy, but shots like that certainly add up.
Matthew Morrell is a gifted athlete. However, he is still learning the fine nuances to playing the position of quarterback, which, to be honest with you, is the hardest position in all of sports to play, in my opinion. So Cypress on to kickoff for the second time tonight. Miles Weber kicking from the left hash, closest to his own sideline. Kennedy in a 5-2-2-2 formation on their return. Kick once again to the left side. Number 80, Vincent Navarro on the return. Brings it back. And the referees are going to spot the ball at the 25 of Kennedy, where they will take over.
And this is one of those situations for Kennedy where they had a nice first drive, got a couple of first downs, were ultimately stalled. They don't want to allow Kennedy, Cypress, who is, let's be honest, coming into this game the favorite, to jump on them early. So if you're Kennedy, you at the very least want to get some field position, try to get some first downs, but certainly a score for them would be huge.
Kennedy on the right hash, closest to the Cypress sideline. And once again, they go to that 3-by-1 formation. Coach Urbanos likes that a lot. Little draw play to the running back to no avail. Balled up immediately by the Cypress defense for no gain.
You know, and this is a Kennedy offense and score a lot of points. They put up 47 against Long Beach Jordan. They put up 44 against LaSalle. So if they can get a rhythm going, they can certainly get some points on the board. But part of that will certainly be their ability to run the ball tonight. And the 2 times they've run the ball with their back, they've gone nowhere.
Alex Herrera gets his instructions from Coach Urbanos, brings his team back onto the field where it will be 2nd down and 10 for the Kennedy Fighting Irish from their own 25-yard line. 2-by-2 formation for the Irish. Herrera back to pass. Looking down the middle, scrambles. A host of Centurions there, including number 84, Aiden Gomez. A.J. Lynn there, too, to bring down Herrera, and that's going to be a big loss for Kennedy. Going to bring up a 3rd down situation. Ball spotted at their own 13-yard line. Going to bring up a 3rd down. Looks like about 22.
Yeah, Aiden Gomez did a really nice job. The senior defensive end coming off the edge and forcing Herrera to leave the pocket. And once he starts scrambling and there's nobody downfield, allowed the rest of the defense to close in and get the sack.
So what's your 3rd down and 22 call here, Coach?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. That's why we're up here not down on the field. I'm probably going to throw it deep. Hopefully you draw a penalty, but there's not a lot of plays you can do when it's 3rd and 22.
A little confusion here. Oh.
I'm not sure that wasn't a penalty for motion.
Yeah, it looks like there's a procedure there, but referees apparently didn't see it. Scrambling, throwing the ball away. Kennedy, great defense there. The pursuit by Waini Tauga. Almost had himself a safety there. Going to bring up 4th down and 22 for Kennedy. And here comes the punt team again.
Yeah, and that's one of those situations where I'm not so sure Kennedy shouldn't have called a timeout. Devin Bell was running on the field late. Looked like he was trying to signal in some kind of audible as the ball was snapped. And then at that point, it was just a fire drill. And Kennedy was lucky to get out of there without getting a safety scored against him.
Kennedy punting out of their own end zone. Neil Jansen at the Kennedy 45 to receive the punt. Already, that seems like a good start. Snap into the end zone. Punt is almost blocked. It's going to hit the ground at the 40. Take a Kennedy bounce and going to roll to the 45 where Kennedy downs it. Cypress will take over in Kennedy territory with 6:47 left in the first quarter, leading 7-0.
How about a little trivia in between possessions here? I got 2 questions for the fans out there tonight. Who was the last Kennedy head coach to beat Cypress? And who was the last Kennedy quarterback to win the CIF title? And I'll give you a hint. They'll both be in the booth with us tonight. I don't know if that's much of a hint, but they're going to be here, and we're going to talk to them.
Coach, I know the answer, but I'm not going to spoil it for the fans.
Well, I got a trivia question for you after this.
Little fake handoff to Tomas Ramirez out to Trevor Monteleone. Picks up about 5 yards in the pass from Matthew Morrell. Morrell running to the sideline. Looks like he's okay after that last series.
Yeah, Trevor Monteleone, the 2-way player, he's a junior, and he's really going to have to step up. You know, when Matt Morrell had to switch to quarterback because of injuries, he became the #1 target, and he's doing a good job picking up where Matt left off.
2nd down and 5 for Cypress. Morrell takes a snap. Little inside give to Neil Jansen, who's got enough for a 1st down. Nice little scamper for about 7 yards. We'll move the chains. 1st down Cypress. Ball going to be spotted at the Kennedy 31-yard line.
You know, Neil Jansen, he's one of those utility players. He plays wide receiver. He plays running back. You can pretty much put him anywhere and count on him. He only has 2 TDs on the year, but he's so effective at just finding key spots to get him the ball when they need it. And again, if Cypress can continue to pound the ball and protect morale, that's really going to bode well for the offense.
You have Neil Jansen and Matthew Morrell, both recipients of Division I baseball scholarships. Matthew Morrell will be attending Oregon State and Neil Jansen San Jose State. Morrell takes a snap, little toss to Jansen to the left, tries to bounce outside, not much doing. Nice tackle there by the Kennedy tackle, Andrew Jimenez. senior, standing at 6'2", weighing in at 245. Nicely read by Andrew.
And keep your eye on tonight, Nate Rios. He's only a sophomore. He's number 1 on the team for Kennedy in tackles. He's number 1 on the team for sacks. Has 4.5. Of course, we coached his older brother, who's an outstanding player. Yeah, so it's kind of a house divided, I suppose.
Good old number 7, Elias Rios. Very, very gifted and talented former Centurion. Morrell takes a shotgun snap. Has to scramble. Neil Jansen picks up a block from, throws in the end zone looking for Ramirez. Nicely defended by Kennedy.
John Bivens, the cornerback, did an outstanding job. Only a sophomore, reading the release of the wide receiver and getting back and deflecting the ball.
Bivens stayed in coverage, squatted there.
Now, speaking of the Rios, Elijah, was he a baseball player too?
Elias did play baseball for the Centurions. He was a part of the 2019 National Championship team.
That's right. You talk about a stacked team. Got a lot of players from that team going to play Division I baseball.
Coached by our good friend John Weber, a legend himself. Spent some time with Coach Weber before the game. Matthew Morrell in the shotgun formation. Neil Jansen to his right. It looks like Coach Feldman's going to elect to take his first time out of the evening. We have a stoppage in the play here with 4:34 left in the first quarter. Cypress 7, Kennedy 0.
Here's a little fun fact for you, a little trivia, and I'm going to throw this one on you, Mr. Dole. Kennedy High School was not the original name of Kennedy. Do you know what it was supposed to be called?
I am not sure, and I should know this. I do have cousins that attended Kennedy High School. I know the school opened in 1964, and it was supposed to be called something else, but after the tragic assassination of President Kennedy, at the last moment they changed the name, and I want to say La Palma High School, but I know that's not right.
You're close. It was going to be Centralia High School.
Centralia.
But like you said, the assassination of our president, the parents and board got together and thought that'd be a nice tribute, and that's how they changed their name at the last moment while it was under construction, about to open up.
Morrell fumbles a snap, and he's going to have trouble. Oh, and Kennedy pounces on it. Waiting for the signal from the officials. Looks like Kennedy has it, though. And Kennedy recovers the fumble by Morrell, and they're going to take over at the 38 of Cypress. That's a big break for Kennedy. Coach Urbanos has to be very happy with that.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It looks like Coach Feldman had some more trickeration dialed up. It looked like some kind of reverse, but Morrell wasn't able to handle the ball, and because of that, it was on the ground. Kennedy picked it up, and now the Irish have a really good opportunity to get back in this ballgame with 4:29 left to go in the first quarter.
1st and 10, Fighting Irish from the Cypress 39, lining up on the right hash. Herrera brings his troops back onto the field. 2x2 formation this time for Coach Dan Urbanos. Pistol formation, running back behind the quarterback.
Yeah, you got two guys in
looks
motion
like a fumble and
and
snap there, but we had a flag. We had some early motion on Kennedy there. That's going to be a penalty and cost him some real estate.
One of the rules in football is you cannot have 2 men in motion at the same time, although that probably helped Kennedy because that would have been a fumble had the penalty not been called.
Yeah, I'm sure if you asked Coach Feldman if they could over that penalty, he'd take the fumble. So with the penalty, it will be 1st down and 15 for Kennedy from their own 34-yard line. Again, 2x2 formation for Kennedy. Motion across the middle, a little handoff, fake handoff, batted down. Great job there, Jacob Wilkie. So, little misdirection there by Kennedy.
Well, Jacob Wilkie did a really nice job coming off the edge, recognizing the play action, didn't bite on the run, stayed outside, kept contained, and as the ball was being released, Balch Herrera jumped in the air and got the ball batted down.
Kennedy's been trying to put their wide receiver, Nico Brown, in motion a lot tonight. Try to fool Coach Crooks' defense, but to no avail. Jacob Wilkie sniffed that out nicely and was able to bat the ball down. Going to bring up 2nd down and 15 for the Fighting Irish. Herrera takes a snap, throws a little lateral pass intended for Victor Navarro, however, falls helplessly to the ground. No gain, bringing up 3rd down and 15 for the Irish.
And Trevor Montelone, the most physical defensive back of that Cypress secondary, did a really good job recognizing the play, coming up and hitting the receiver just as the ball was about to get into his hands. And again, you talk about players stepping up, but how about coaches? Coach Crick last week, again, you got Pacifica, who was averaging 48 points a game. They were 6-1 going into that game. Completely shut them down, held them to 1 touchdown, and really that was the difference between getting a win at Pacifica and Cypress losing.
That defense last week was impressive by Cypress.
They were lights out.
Herrera looking over the Cypress defense, takes a snap, back to throw, goes over the middle, tipped, falls to the ground. Going to bring up 4th down and 15. We got a flag on the play though. Looks like it's going to be a hold against Kennedy, which will obviously be declined by Cypress and bring up a 4th down.
Well, unfortunately for Kennedy, they weren't able to take advantage of the turnover. And again, it's one of these things where, you can hang off for so long, but at some point you think the Cypress offense is going to break through and start putting some points on the board. At some point, Kennedy's going to have to do something offensively to get their team back in this ball game, because the last thing you can do is allow Cypress to start pulling away slowly but surely.
Neil Jansen again back deep for the Centurions on the punt return. On to punt for Kennedy is John Bivens, 5'8" sophomore. Snaps over his head. Bivens has to scramble to get it back. He's running for his life. He just falls on it, where he is met by Aiden Gomez, who gets the tackle, and Cypress will take over at the Kennedy 13, first and 10.
What a huge mistake for Kennedy. And, I didn't want to have to do this, but Nick Rotherham is the special teams coordinator at Kennedy High School, and I'm going to put that bad snap on him because they clearly haven't been getting enough snaps down at practice. So, come on, Coach Rotherham. This is a big game. You can't be making those kind of mistakes.
Nick Rotherham, a very gifted young coach who you and I know quite well. Has a very bright future coaching.
Spent many afternoons with him.
Morrell under center. Little draw play to Tomas Ramirez to the left, and Ramirez gets bottled up by the Kennedy defense for a loss.
Talking about Coach Rotherham and just their staff in general, pretty much that entire staff not only went to Kennedy but played there. Those guys are buddies. They all played for Mitch Olson, who's now the former Kennedy coach, but now the athletic director of the district. And so there's a lot of cohesion in that group, and there's a lot of camaraderie, and those guys like one another. They trust one another, and that makes a difference when you're trying to build a program to have a staff that you can believe in and have faith in.
And another good friend of ours, Tim Reed, the defensive coordinator, great guy who I've known for many years. Morrell under center, takes a snap again, toss left to Ramirez, who cuts it back on the hash and is going to be taken down at about the 7-yard line, where it's going to bring up about a 3rd and let's call it 3 for the Centurions. Yeah, the Kennedy staff is very close-knit. I mean, you and I know a lot of them very well. Rotherham, Urbanos, Reed.
I mean, it goes on and on. Sean Clark, their former coach, is still involved.
Eric Okula.
Coach Latham, who I coached with and had season tickets with the UCLA for a number of years. I mean,
Latham's a great guy.
It's a great group of guys. And even at the freshman level, these guys, they've got a great staff, no doubt about it. And you're starting to see the benefits of having a good staff as they look to improve overall as a program.
Former NFL player Derek Deese. And a little handoff. Tomas Ramirez hits some Pater. 7-yard scamper for the touchdown.
Coach Feldman lined his boys up in jumbo and just punched it right in their mouth. And right just like that, Cypress is going to take a 2-touchdown lead and really put Kennedy behind the 8 ball with 2:41 still to go in the first quarter.
You and I were kind of wondering earlier this week if we were going to see jumbo eventually at some point. And it looks like the answer to that was yes.
Well, it's a package they have, and they'll use it when they need it. So, it forces other teams to have one more thing to prepare for. So I like the fact that they use it when they can.
Miles Weber on for the extra point, which is good. So with 2:41 remaining in the first period, Cypress 14, Kennedy 0.
It's still early in the game, but this is kind of a critical juncture for Kennedy because when you come into a game, especially a rivalry game with a lot of emotions as an underdog, the one thing you don't want to do is fall behind early. And down 7-0, that's one thing, but 14-0 starts getting a lot more critical in terms of your ability to get some points on the board and keep this game close because if Cyprus gets the next score, all of a sudden it starts getting away from you and it can get real bad quick. So Kennedy's got to come up with a scheme this drive to try to get some points on the board and get back in this ball game.
Hey, Coach, you know what time it is?
Game time?
It's time for our tradition. Say hi to our buddy in heaven, Jd, every game.
Big JD, he would have loved to have been to this game in person, but we know he's watching from above. He's probably got the best seat in the house, and we think about the all-time JD, and just saw his wife a second ago down there. She's cheering on for the Centurions, and
this might have been JD's favorite game every year.
No doubt about it.
We love you, JD. We miss you. Stacey's here with us tonight enjoying the game. Miles Weber to kick off. Puts it deep and into the end zone. Nice kick by Miles Weber. Nico Brown attempted to field it, but it kind of sailed over his head, so Kennedy's going to take over at their own 20-yard line with 2:35 left in the first quarter. While we got a second, also Coach Padios, I'd like to say hi to our buddy Jeff Hall. Halsey, how you doing, brother? I know you're out there listening and watching the broadcast.
How about Halsey's Fighting Irish? Speaking of Kennedy, Notre Dame and SC's got a big game this week. Halsey will be pulling for Notre Dame, so the one time you'll hear me say this, go Irish.
Oh, Halsey. Three-by-one formation for the Irish. Herrera takes a snap, scrambling, runs to his left, cuts back up the middle, met by a host of Centurions. Looks like your boy Rocco Burdette was in on the tackle there, Coach Padios.
Yeah, and up till this point tonight, Cyprus has done a really good job shutting down that Kennedy running attack. And, if they can get Kennedy in a situation where they're one-dimensional and have to throw, that's really going to bode well for the Cyprus defense. So, again, Kennedy's got to somehow get that run game established just to keep the Cyprus defense honest.
A.J. Lynn's getting in there a lot for the Centurions tonight, too, playing the D-line there, number 31 for the Centurions.
Well, again, we talked about this in the pregame. When you got guys going down, it's next man up, and he's had his opportunity tonight. So far, he's done really well.
Kennedy moving the ball up the field. Nice little game there for the Fighting Irish. River Benton, one of the Benton twins. Big pickup and a first down there for the Irish.
Yeah, he did a good job getting out of the tackle of Devin Cobb and turning what would have been about a 2 or 3 yard gain into a first down. So that's a nice job of the second effort by Benton.
Coach, Hunter Benton has just checked into the game.
Oh, really? There's your first wrinkle of the night. All right, so let's see how effective he is. We were told he was out for the game. Do they use him as a decoy, or is he somehow find a way to suck it up and make a play?
Maybe pass over the middle. I'm not sure. Correction on that, Coach. I'm sorry. Not Hunter Benton. Got my threes mixed up. That was actually Gabriel Thompson.
Okay, I didn't want to call you on the air because I was looking for him. I didn't see it in 23. So
I thought I saw 23 coming to the game. It was actually 33.
Okay.
My apologies, folks.
I'll say that would have been a heck of a recovery because I heard he had hurt his ankle really bad. So
I guess that was just my optimism. You want to see the best playing against the best, obviously.
No doubt about it.
Again, 3-by-1 formation for the Irish with Bell wide to the left. Little handoff bottled up nicely by the Centurions. Aiden Gomez in there, followed by A.J. Lynn and also Jacob Wilkie.
Well, that time Jeff Crooks, the defensive coordinator, dialed up a run blitz, and they brought all the backers into the gaps. Kenny simply had nowhere to go, so that's a nice job. You talk about blitzing the quarterback in passing situations, but you can also run blitz as well, as you saw in that last play with the Cyprus defense.
And that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter, where Cyprus leads Kennedy 14-0. Got an update for you. Bottom of the sixth, nobody out. Your Los Angeles Dodgers 6, Atlanta 2.
Go Doyers.
I love it. That is great news.
Here's a little fun fact for you. Speaking of rivalries, Kennedy and Cypress have two very distinguished alumnus who went on to be actors. Do you know who they are, Mr. Dole?
Well, Kennedy, as I said before, I have cousins that went there who were friends with this actor, my cousin Nancy in particular, and that would be one and only John Stamos.
Now you're 1 for 1. Now the tougher one.
Cypress, are we going to go with Brian Takashi?
Close. Brian Toshi, who of course was who? Takashi from Revenge of the Nerds, one of the most iconic early 80 movies. Of course, he was also in the Police Academy series, and I didn't know this, but he was one of the voices for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that cartoon that was on Saturday mornings back in the day.
I love that show.
I wonder if those guys are tuning in, checking in their old alma mater, seeing how they're doing today.
Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Leonardo.
I don't know which one he was, but I
John
remember
Stamos,
Takashi.
yeah.
The little tricycle race. And
Coach Feldman has had dinner with John Stamos before, I believe. He's in that same age group as Mr. Stamos. 3-by-1 formation, fumbled, snapped by the Fighting Irish. Uh-oh, if Cypress has this, they do. Oh, ouch. That is a tough break for the Irish. Cypress is going to take over on the Kennedy 40.
Yeah, now this is a critical moment for that Kennedy defense. They've got to get a stop. They don't want to give up points of any kind to Cypress. Of course, Cypress has all the momentum right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see Felly come up with another one of his reverse trick plays because he's known to do that.
Make that the 41-yard line of Kennedy. That's a tough break. I don't know if Herrera in the center just got mixed up on that. That was Adam Nam, the center. I'm not quite sure if there was a miscommunication. However, whatever it was, the ball ended up on the ground. Those are the tough ones, Coach. Unforced fumbles. Oof.
Yeah, that's a part of the game. I mean, the ball has to change a lot of hands from the snap to the quarterback to the running back or to a receiver, and everybody's got to do a good job protecting that ball.
Morrell with the tight trips formation, out of the gun formation, wants to throw a little screen play. Pass Devin Cobb over the middle, who breaks, goes left. Devin Cobb's going to take it to the house. Touchdown, Centurions. 41 yards on the screen. Morrell to Cobb. Beautifully done.
Devin Cobb showing off his speed on a little middle screen there. Picks up his 6th touchdown of the season. Matt Morrell did a nice job allowing the play to develop. And
got Devin Cobb's father right below us, too. He's very excited. This is great. Mr. Cobb. Miles Weber on for the extra point. And it is good. 11:45 in the second quarter. Cypress 21, Kennedy 0. As usual, I'd like to give a shout out to the Morrell family in Oregon, Aunt Betty, who's listening in Ashland. Hope you're enjoying the game. And of course, Cypress legend Matthew Morrell's father, Eric Morrell, class of '82, Cypress Centurion great. Spoke with him earlier this evening. He's all excited about taking on Kennedy. And of course, as always, he is best friends with Coach Rick Feldman. So it's a win-win situation for Matthew Morrell or Eric Morrell whenever he's at a game. Gets to see his son play and his best friend Rick Feldman lead the Centurions. Weber to kick off. Returnable. A nice little return for Kennedy there. Going to bring it out to about the 29 of Cypress.
We've talked about the rivalry tonight and the importance of that, but also one other huge factor for Cypress is if they win tonight, they will be the Empire League champions no matter what they do the last week of the season. So this is a huge game for them, not only for bragging rights and keeping the streak alive and all that, But if they win, they'll win their third straight Empire League championship, which would be the first time in school history they've done that. So a lot on the line for the Cypress team, above and beyond just beating the rival Kennedy.
And I know that's very important to Coach Rick Feldman. Again, 3-by-1 formation for the Fighting Irish. Herrera back to throw, scrambles around, looking down the field, doesn't have anybody, finds the receiver over the middle. Nicely done as he buys some time, and that's going to be a nice little pickup for the Fighting Irish. Looks like that was River Benton on the reception. Again, one of the Benton twins, so without Hunter tonight, River's doing an admirable job filling in where his brother kind of left off.
Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, we talk about next man up, and it just happens to be the twin brother of Hunter Benton. River had an outstanding reception on that last play, and Alex Herrera did a really nice job looking to his third option. He was actually looking downfield to his wideout. Stuff was there. He bought some time in the pocket, found his third option, and kept the drive going.
I don't know if you saw OC Varsity this week, but there's a wonderful article on the Benton twins and how Coach Dan Herbanos discovered them at Kennedy. It was a really fascinating story. Basically found them in PE class and recognized their athletic ability and recruited them to play football, and the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Hunter Benton, who's an all-county quality wide receiver, who was a PE guy at one time.
Benton again to throw. Herrera on a little slant route. Able to locate Nico Brown. Great little pickup there for the Kennedy Fighting Irish. Takes them into Cypress territory.
Well, Alex Herrera, he recognized the blitz off the edge and found his wide receiver on the skinny slant. So that's, again, you see the experience of a senior quarterback recognizing those blitzes and picking them up and finding the hot receiver.
Going to bring up 1st and 10 for the Fighting Irish from the Cypress 39. Herrera takes a snap. Fakes a handoff, running for his life, being chased by Rocco Burnett. Can Burnett track him down? Not quite. Throws the ball away. Burnett with great pursuit there.
Yeah, and that, again, Alex Herrera did a nice job recognizing the pocket was collapsing. Pretty much impromptu, got outside the pocket, bought some time just to get the ball away, and by throwing in the direction of the receiver, he avoided the intentional grounding, and certainly had he gone down, that would have been a 15-yard loss. So that's a nice job of Alex Herrera turning a potential disaster into a simple incompletion.
However, we have a flag in the field, and it's going to be ineligible man downfield for the Kennedy Fighting Irish. That's one of those plays, Coach, where the quarterback scrambles, the line releases, and they don't really see what's happening behind them. Can't really blame them for that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that call. I get if a guy's going downfield and acting as if he's a receiver, but if you're 2 or 3 yards out of the box when your quarterback's scrambling, I don't think it's going to really confuse the defense. But I know why they have the call, but I think it's one of those ticky-tack things.
I agree. Herrera, shotgun, takes a snap. Feeling the pressure again. Looks down the left sideline. Looks like a great catch. They're going to call it in bounds. That was Nico Brown. And they're going to say he was out of bounds. Great catch nonetheless, though, by Mr. Brown. Great concentration there.
Well, Alex Herrera took a shot on that pass. I believe it was Carson Cenamon who came off the edge, forced him to step up in the pocket, and just as he released it, laid a hit on him. And he was laying down for a few seconds here. He got up. He's clearly a tough kid, but a lot of shots like that will add up, and you certainly don't want your quarterback getting hit that hard and that consistently.
See the Cypress sideline right now. Running backs coach Matthew Doyle analyzing the data, coaching his guys up. Of course, other coaches on the Cypress staff include Dan Fault with the defensive backs, Justin Parcells with the linebackers, Eric Smith with the O-line, Efren Valdez with the wide receivers. Herrera back to throw, has a receiver complete. No, not quite. Also got to mention Nick Burris, quarterbacks coach for the Centurions. And, of course, D-line coach Andrew Moreno. Great coaching staff for the Centurions.
You know, again, Alex Herrera showing his athleticism. He did a good job getting outside of the oncoming rush, bought some time and found his wide receiver downfield, set up a third and short situation. Right now, Kenny's got a nice little drive going. The question is, can they take it all the way into the end zone and finish it?
This is the furthest they've been into Cypress territory this evening. They're at the 32 right now. Low snap. Nice job fielded by Herrera. However, Aiden Gomez meets him And Herrera can go nowhere, and he's going to take a big loss on the play.
You know, Nathan Gomez having himself a night tonight. He did a great job coming off the edge, and as athletic as Herrera is, he just couldn't get out of the reach of Gomez. And again, this one looks like Kennedy's threatening, and they're going to do something. The Cypress defense steps up and forces them into another punting situation.
They go from a 3rd and 3 situation to a 4th and 12. Ball spotted at the 41 of Cypress. Herrera taking his time. Punt formation for Kennedy here. And snap is up. Little pooch kick. Cypress players are going to get away from it. Ball is down by Kennedy. Spotted at the 16 of Cypress, where they will take over with 7:56 left in the first half, leading 21-0.
You know, I didn't want to have to do this, but I got to give a shout out to the Kennedy freshman football staff, Ryan Olson. His Kennedy freshman team ended Cypress's 23-game winning streak. Cypress had beaten Kennedy, their freshman, 8 times in a row. And Kennedy came down to Cypress today, did an outstanding job. They won the game 16-7. I had an opportunity to coach against him last year, and you can tell he knows what he's doing. He's got his kids fired up. They played a heck of a game today, and you know, it's tough when something comes to an end as good as that freshman streak. But you know,
Ron Latham on that staff as well.
Yeah, our
Derek
old
Dees.
buddy. Yep. So kudos to that freshman team.
Little stretch play to Devin Cobb, who breaks it outside, up the sideline, knocked out of bounds at the 38 of Cypress. You know,
Kennedy
back
was
to
real
the
close to getting a flag there.
Kennedy freshman coaching staff, Ryan Olson. You know, I go back with him. He's a great guy and about as funny a human being as you'll ever meet. He's got a great sense of humor. Just a super guy. You know,
well, you know, it's funny, when we played him last year, it was the last game of the year, and he apologized to us after the game. He said, listen, I apologize that we lost you guys again, but we're coming, and we're getting better, and we're going to be back here next year, and we'll settle it then. And, you know, to his credit, he made the statement. He backed it up. So, yeah, he is a good guy. We worked with him in the summer, didn't we, a couple years ago? And
yes, we did.
Yeah.
Ryan is the nephew of legendary Kennedy coach Mitch Olson. So a little counterplay to Devin Cobb, who gets some real estate again. Devin Cobb eating up real estate left and right for the Centurions. Another big gain deep into Kennedy territory. Ball's going to be spotted at the 32 of Kennedy, 1st and 10 Centurions.
You know, Coach Feldman's doing a good job tonight, really opening up the playbook. We've seen Devin Cobb, Neil Jansen, Tomas Ramirez making plays. Of course, Matt Morrell's had some big plays himself, and really, it's hard for the Kennedy defense to key on one person because there's just so many different weapons on that Cypress offense that can hurt you, and Feldy's utilizing all of them, which is paying off for the Cypress offense.
Still haven't seen Elliot Lemonnier tonight or Blake Kuzmano. Morrell again, shotgun formation. He has Neil Jansen to his right in the backfield. Justin Thompson in the game motions across. Little inside give to Jansen, who doesn't get much real estate. Going to be brought down for no gain, bringing up a 2nd down and 10.
Well, that's a nice job by Eric Toscanso, the outside linebacker senior, who's 2nd on the team in tackles as well as sacks, staying home, reading the play, and making the tackle for a minimal game, if that, against Cypress.
Good to see Justin Thompson into the game. There's a kind of a question mark as to whether he'd play tonight or not, but it looks like he's able to get some repetitions in there or some reps, and it's a good thing to always see JT on the field.
Well, of course, we lost him last year to an Achilles injury, and he was able to come back, and then, 2 weeks later after returning, he hurts his ankle.
JT saw the right, have a drop, snap by Morrell, and a flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be possibly a procedure penalty against the Centurions, maybe a false start.
Boy, and Trevor Monteleone was wide open, but I think that low snap threw off the timing. But, again, Coach Feldman has no problem throwing the ball downfield. They just got to get their timing down.
Coach Feldman seeking an explanation from the white hat. Not sure he liked what he heard. However, it is what it is, and the Centurions are going to be assessed a penalty here.
It looks like it's an illegal procedure. And one of the things as a quarterback, before you snap the ball, you have to make sure all your receivers are set. And so, again, that's one of those nuances for a new quarterback that you just don't have without all the repetition experience. But, that's something Matt's going to have to learn as Cypress advances in the season and heads into CIF.
Stretch to Neil Jansen going to his left. Gets nowhere. Nice tackle there by Javi Lovely for the Kennedy Fighting Irish. That's a great play by Mr. Lovely. He's a junior, 5'8" for the Fighting Irish. Bringing up a 2nd down and 15 for Cypress at the Kennedy 37. Centurions in a 3-by-1 formation, middle of the field. Morrell, pistol formation. Neil Jansen a block. Morrell under some duress, throws deep, looking down the field for Monteleone, overthrows him into the end zone. Going to bring up 3rd down and 15.
Yeah, and that's back-to-back plays where Trevor Monteleone had a step or two on the defender, but Matt Morrell's just a little bit off, a little too high, a little too far. And boy, if they can get that timing down, that's 2 touchdowns they could have had. It's a 3rd and 15 with the ball in the 36. You almost got to think this is 2-down territory for Cypress because you certainly don't want to punt from the 35-yard line. So be curious to see if Feldy does up a play here. Just at least get half the yards back and then take your shot on 4th down.
Morrell with the snap. Throws a little lateral route to Tomas Ramirez. And Kennedy does a great job of bottling that up. Going to bring out a 4th down situation for Cypress in a little awkward territory here. Too far to kick a field goal. Too close to punt. See if Coach Feldman calls a timeout here or just goes for it on a 4th down and 10 situation at the Kennedy 34.
Yeah, and Victor Navarro, the cornerback, came up and didn't make the tackle, but he disrupted the play enough to allow the rest of the defense to close in on the wide receiver. But yeah, 4th and 12 on the 34-yard line. You're certainly not going to punt, so it's a makeable bit down. Cypress just has to execute.
Could be a 51-yard field goal.
They struggle with their PATs, or they used to. They seem to have fixed that, so I don't want to be too hard on them. But that's a tough field goal, even at the NFL level.
And to nobody's shock, Coach Feldman takes a timeout. Well, we have a timeout. I'd like to say hi to another buddy we got up in heaven right now who would have loved this game as well. Our dear departed friend, Mike Jones. Miss you, brother. We love you.
Michael Jones, yeah, he was a Centurion, a big fan. Of course, all his boys played here, and too bad he couldn't be with us tonight, but he's probably sitting up there next to JD with the best seat in the house.
Also, Coach's Corner, located at 6038 Ball Road in Buena Park. Phone number 714-699-1389, coachescornerpizza.com. We'll be moving in a week, so we will give you their new address. Their new address will be on Lincoln, but continue to support them. Coach's Corner, they do so much for the community, so much for the school, and not only Cypress High School, they support all our local high schools in the North Orange County, South Los Angeles County area. Coach Terry Thompson, of course, and his wonderful staff there. Go out and show your support. Best pizza in the world, Coach's Corner. Go watch a game there. Sunday NFL ticket, all that good stuff. Coach's Corner.
Are we going there after the game?
Absolutely.
All right, that's what I wanted to hear.
Fourth down, 11 for the Centurions. Morrell out of the shotgun takes a snap. He's looking down the field, sprinting, going to run for himself. Has a little rail set. Oh, is tripped up. Looks like he might have taken himself down there. However, in close coverage for the Irish was Eric Toscano, who will get credited with the tackle. Kennedy will take over on downs at their own 30, 1st and 10, with 5:01 remaining in the first half. Cypress leading 21-0.
And that's one of those plays where if you got a healthy Matt Morrell, he probably makes it. You flash back to that Tustin game where he really did a lot of damage running the ball, but he is banged up, and you wonder how much that needs affecting him. But still, despite that, he had a nice run, but there's just too many defenders preventing him from getting the first down.
Alex Herrera bringing his troops back onto the field, 2-by-2 formation. Pistol with a running back in the backfield. Herrera to throw. Pumps, fakes, going deep. Well defended. Great job by Devin Cobb on the coverage there. Once again, he was looking for one of the Ben brothers, that being River. But Devin Cobb ran hip to hip with him. Great defense, just like Coach Dan Fall taught him.
Yeah, that was great play action by Herrera. I mean, he certainly looked like that was going to be released, and then Devin Cobb was having none of that. He stayed at the receiver, played the technique right, and there just was no open player for Herrera to get the ball to.
2nd down and 10. Kennedy from their own 31-yard line. 3-by-1 formation again. Running back to the left of Herrera. Steps up, little screen pass. Hauled up nicely by Cypress. However, great job by Cody Massamoya to get some yards for Kennedy. Haven't said his name much tonight, but he is a great little running back. Been very productive for the Kennedy Fighting Irish all season.
And I like the call by the head coach Urbanos. Whenever you face a team that blitzes a lot, one of the things you can do to counter that is a screen pass. And so Kennedy's recognized the fact that Cypress has been very aggressive blitzing, so they dialed up a screen and picked up 9 yards.
Cody Massamoya, senior, 5'10", 180, very gifted running back for the Kennedy Fighting Irish. Again, 3-by-1 set. Herrera back to throw, has a receiver. Caught, going to be a first down. Once again, Ben on the reception. Ben now with his 3rd catch of the evening, I believe. So he's doing an admirable job taking the place of his twin brother tonight.
Yeah, simple pitch and catch on 3rd and short. There was enough separation between the receiver and the cornerback that even with tight coverage, the ball is placed perfectly. So that's a nice job by Kennedy executing that 3rd down and 1 situation.
1st and 10 from their own 42. Cypress showing blitz. Herrera takes a snap. Wants to throw a little slant. Again, looking for Nico Brown, but leads him a little too much. Ball falls incomplete.
You know, when Kennedy is calling the right plays against an aggressive defense, they're running screens, they're running slants, skinny posts. Herrera's just got to do a better job of connecting the receiver, because if you're going to get that one-on-one coverage, which you will see in blitzing situations, you just got to execute. So Kennedy's really close to making a big play.
That's the gamble about the whole blitz package if you're playing man coverage. Cypress seems to have that dialed up pretty nicely tonight, though. Coach Crooks, solid game plan in place as usual. Herrera takes a snap, little handoff, fakes it and pulls it himself. Gonna run to the left, but has nowhere to go. Mohammed Hussein and Jd Haas meet him with bad intentions and run him out of bounds on the Cypress sideline.
Well, then that's a nice job of Mohammed Hassane staying home. His responsibility is contained, and if you start biting on that inside run action, you're going to get yourself out of position, and Herrera would have been off to the races, but Mohammed stayed home, did a really good job, and prevented a big pickup by Kennedy.
Going to bring up 3rd down and 9 situation for the Fighting Irish from their own 43-yard line. 2:58 remaining in the first half, 21-0, Cypress. Herrera takes a snap, back to throw. Looking down the right sideline, has a receiver in double coverage. Well defended by Trevor Monteleone and Devin Cobb. Looked like some bracket coverage there.
Devin Cobb had him 1-on-1. You had Trevor Monteleone over the top, and it's tough if you're going to take a shot downfield. You do not want to throw it to the area where the strong safety is sitting over the top. So I understand when you're getting blitzed against, you want to take your shots downfield, but you got to find the receiver with the one-on-one coverage who's not getting safety help.
Brings up another punt situation, 4th and 9 for the Fighting Irish. Hey, remember to stay tuned at halftime. We have senior night for the Cypress High School cheer and song squads, as well as the Cypress High School marching band. And after that, the marching band will perform. Snap is low to the punter. However, he's able to get it away. Not much of a punt, but will roll harmlessly to breakaway stop at the Cypress 34 where they will take over with 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the half. Let's see what Coach Feldman can dial up. I know he'd love to go into halftime with a 28-point lead instead of just 21.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Feldman, I'm going to stay aggressive because if you can take a 20-point Nathan lead, that really puts a stranglehold on this game and puts Kennedy in an almost impossible situation. Of course, we still have another half of football to go, but boy, that's a big deficit to overcome. So if you're Cypress, why not take a chance downfield and see if you can really put this thing in the basket.
Matthew Morrell remains in a quarterback for the Centurions. Oh, uncovered. Oh, Tomas Ramirez wide open. Waving to Matthew Morrell, however, Kennedy recognized it and smartly called a timeout.
Boy, they sure did because he was completely uncovered. I mean, that was going to be a touchdown. He could have walked in the end zone, but the coaches in the booth recognized that. They were screaming to the coaches down below to call timeout, and thankfully for Kennedy they did because that wide receiver was completely uncovered.
Hey, walking the sideline right now, we see our principal, Dr. Kevin Hodgson, along with our assistant principal, Mr. Sean Pfeiffer. Say hello to them. Of course, as usual, say hi to Mr. and Mrs. Hodgson, who are big fans and watching the game.
Are they still in Hawaii?
I don't know if they're still in Hawaii. That'd be a long vacation there. I think they're back home in West Covina. But we hope you're doing well, Mr. and Mrs. Hodgson, and enjoying the game this evening. All the best to you guys.
So here's a little trivia question for you. We know that Cypress has been on the winning end of the streak for a while now. How many straight has Cypress won over Kennedy?
5.
Very good. It's been 5 straight.
Thank you, Coach. Morrell back to throw. Looks for Cobb. Looks like that was nicely defended there by Kennedy. Gabriel Thompson again. Got a hand up there to deflect the ball away. While we got a moment, I'd also like to implore you to call Pilo Brown Industries, Paul Lopez at 6895 Oslo Circle number F in Buena Park. He can be reached at 714-369-4273 for all your sweatshirt, t-shirt, apparel needs, including banners and signage. Pilo Brown Industries, the best in the business. Cypress alumni, class of 90. Show him your support. Pilo Brown Industries. Morrell to pass, little motion trickeration again. Little reverse from Cobb to Ramirez, and Ramirez is going to ramble for a first down.
Cypress probably runs more reverses than any team I've ever seen. I mean, it's one of those things that everybody knows about it, but for whatever reason, they just don't run it a lot. But it's a great play because defenses, as the game progresses, kind of get lulled to sleep, and they, you pop reverse on them, and more times than not, it's going to produce big results.
And I think the other thing that gets overlooked a lot is Coach Feldman really picks and chooses the right time to run those type of plays.
Yeah, it's one of those momentum things, and he can feel it, and when you feel it, you call it.
Morrell over the middle, overthrows intended receiver Devin Cobb. Going to bring up 2nd down and 10 for Cypress from their own 47. 1:58 remaining in the first half.
One player we really haven't heard a lot from tonight, and I'm a little bit surprised because I thought he'd be a little bit more impactful, is their outstanding linebacker, Nate Rios. I mean, he's an outstanding player. He's number 1 on the team in tackles. He's number 1 in sacks. But you really haven't heard his name called that much tonight, and be interesting to see if he can pick it up and start making some plays because Kennedy's going to need him if they're going to get back into this ball game.
Very gifted athlete, Nate Rios. Morrell to pass. Scrambling around. Pursued by Kennedy. Going to be brought down by us for a sack.
That is a huge loss for the Cypress offense.
Great job
the defensive
there by
end came off and
Brandon Roth.
Dropped Morrell for about a 20-yard loss. So great job by the Cypress defense stepping up and getting a much-needed stop.
Looks like that was Justin Cunyon on the sap, too.
Of course, Tim Reed, the defensive coordinator, another coach from Kennedy we know very well.
Great guy. In fact, here's a little trivia question for you, Coach Patios. Tim Reed's brother is an assistant principal at your alma mater.
El Toro?
Yes.
Really? I did not know that.
Jordan Reed.
Okay. Speaking of my alma mater, El Toro's having an outstanding season, and I don't want to look too far in the future, but if Cypress gets in the playoffs, I think the thinking is Division 4. El Toro would be in that division, and I'd love to see a matchup with Cypress El Toro at some point. There's a lot that has to happen between now and then, but so it's good to see the old alma mater on the field.
You know, I got to be honest with you, Coach. This kind of reminds you of, where you and I grew up. We're obviously South County guys, but, we're North County guys now. You went to El Toro, I went to Mission Viejo. Kennedy Cypress reminds me a lot of that rivalry, and then if you throw Pacifica in there, you got Capo Valley.
Yeah, it was a three-headed monster back in the day between El Toro, Mission, and Capo, and right now you got Pacifica, Kennedy, and Cypress, and you're right, there's a lot of similarities.
3rd and 27 for Cypress. Kennedy shows blitz, backs off. Morrell scrambling around, not much to go to. Finds Neil Jansen on the sideline. It's not a first down. Wow, that is a tremendous breakdown for Kennedy.
Boy, that's a tough play to defend. All the receivers are deep downfield, and then you flare your back out. That actually reminds me a lot of last week. Remember against Pacifica, Cypress had Pacifica like in a 4th and 20, and then they hit their back out of the field, which got them a huge first down, which ultimately led to the touchdown that gave Pacifica the lead. So that's one of those things you got to keep an eye on those backs out of the backfield. Late is a safety valve. So nice job by Morrell extending the play and recognizing that.
And to make matters worse, Neal was able to get out of bounds and stop the clock. So you have 1st and 10 from the Kennedy 36, still with 1:26 left in the half, and Coach Feldman has a timeout remaining as well. Morrell, a little inside draw play to Jansen, goes left, bounces back right, and is able to turn a gain of nothing into about a 5-yard gain.
Cypress still has a timeout. There's plenty of time. There's 1:26 to go. And the clock has stopped, so Cypress can take their time in the huddle and dial up their next play.
Second down and 4 for Cypress. Ball marked at the Kennedy 30, right hash. Cypress comes in on a tight end wing formation. Morrell back to throw to the right side, overshoots intended receiver Tomas Ramirez. Ball goes out of bounds on the Cypress sideline.
Yeah, that was another little snap by Morrell, and he was able to pick it up, and I think he rushed it because he sensed the ball being on the ground, wanted to get ready. You certainly don't want to take a sack at this point, so even though it wasn't a great throw, it wasn't the worst decision considering it was a bad snap.
Minute 2 remaining in the first half. Remember, stay tuned at halftime. Cypress Imperial Brigade will perform, and we will honor the Cypress High School senior cheer and song leaders, as well as the Cypress High School senior band members. Morrell shotgun formation has Neil Jansen. Little inside give, going the other direction to Devin Cobb. And Kennedy does a nice job keeping him in bounds. The clock is moving, 56 seconds left.
Well, Devin Cobb, you talk about a great 2nd, 3rd, and 4th effort. Again, Feldy goes with an end around. Kennedy was in possession to make tackles about 3 different cases, but they just couldn't finish it. And the 2nd effort by Cobb allowed Cypress to turn in what should be a 4th down into a 1st down.
Move the chains. Ball is going to be spotted at the 24 of Kennedy with 50 seconds remaining in the first half. Obviously, a touchdown here for Cypress should be huge. But by the same token, a stop for Kennedy would be equally as huge.
Yeah, this is kind of one of those tipping points of the game. Down 21-0 is not the end of the world. It's certainly a deficit you don't want to be in. But Kennedy's one big play away from getting back in it. On the other hand, if Cypress can get a touchdown here, a 28-0 deficit is hard for anybody to overcome.
Morrell does right. Big right tackle. Stephen Hansberry does a good job of blocking, keeping Kennedy out of the backfield. Morrell throws as Trevor Montanone, ball tipped. Oh! Almost caught for a touchdown. Nicely defended by John Bivens there for the Kennedy Fighting Irish.
Yeah, and again, Monteleone was wide open, but Bivens gets his hands up and changes the trajectory of the ball. It hit Monteleone in the hands, but it's tough as a receiver when you're locked on the ball and he gets tipped last second. So, again, both these teams are playing with fire. Both teams have had chances to make plays on offense and defense. It's just a battle of wills. Can Cypress get into the end zone, or does Kennedy step up and stop him right before the half?
This is a great intellectual matchup of football, mind you. You have Coach Feldman calling the offense for Cypress and Coach Tim Reed calling the defense for Kennedy. It's a great chess match we're watching here, Coach. 40 seconds remaining in the half. Morrell to throw. Little screen. It's got Neil Jansen. Jansen cuts to his left. Breaks out of a tackle before he's run out of bounds on the Kennedy sideline.
Oh, and again, Neil Jansen, when you talk about a second and third effort, should have been tackled by Kennedy inbounds, which would have forced Cypress to burn their last time out, but because he kept working through the play, was able to fight to get out of bounds, stopping the clock, which of course will allow Cypress to huddle up and take more time in dialing up a third down play.
You know, when I think of Neil Jansen, I think of one word: fast.
And we certainly have some speed, so that's a good word to think of when you think of Neil.
Morrell gets hit as he throws. Tremendous catch, though, in the corner of the end zone by Trevor Mata. However, there's a flag. Are they going to call pass interference on Trevor pushing off? Morrell got clobbered as he released the ball.
I was going to say, he took another shot. I hope they get the touchdown because he certainly paid for that one. And it looks like they are going to call it against Cypress.
I think Trevor Monteleone pushed off on the cornerback there.
Can't do that.
Made a great catch, but I think he put a little too much effort in there as he was able to shed the cornerback. Top of the 8th inning, Los Angeles Dodgers 7, Atlanta Braves 2.
Go Doyers.
Go Dodgers. .24 seconds remaining in the half. 3-on-1 formation for the Cypress Centurions. Morrell back to pass as Jansen in the backfield. William Spencer is right. Oh, is absolutely slaughtered by Justin Kung for Kennedy. Big sack for the Fighting Irish.
Justin Kung, the outstanding inside linebacker, came on a blitz and just leveled Morrell. Did a great job. Of course, Justin Kung is a part of the Kennedy International Baccalaureate program, which is almost like earning a second degree in high school. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the second half, but Kung's a player who can get it done not only on the field, but in the classroom as well.
And that's going to bring us to the end of the first half, so moral victory for Kennedy there as they keep Cypress out of the end zone and go to the half.
So we'll see how both teams regroup. Remember, stay tuned, folks, as we're going to have the Cypress halftime show, the Cypress Imperial Brigade marching, as well as we honor our senior cheer and song leaders and our senior band members here at Cypress High School, the class of 2022.
Wide, okay. Got it. He doesn't hear you yet. He hears you.
is her sister. The message she has to the underclassmen is, no matter how hard life gets, never give up your hopes, dreams, and especially on yourselves. Her goals for the future are to become a professor at a university or a principal at a high school and getting her PhD in educational leadership and policy. She plans on attending a community college and then transferring to UCR or UCI. Her mom, dad, and sister are walking with her tonight: Olivia Fanger, Michael Fanger, and Alexis Fanger. Her message to her family: thank you to my family for always pushing me to do the best I can throughout my high school career, as well as being there when I needed you all the most. Also, thank you for being my number one supporters. I love you all. A special thanks to my song sisters and my coaches. Love you guys so much. Lauren Fanger. Next, we have Katie Fleming. Her position is bass. Her favorite inspirational person is her mom because she is a very powerful, independent person and is someone that pushes me to always be my best. Her message to the underclassmen: pursue as many opportunities as you can because high school goes by in the blink of an eye. Her goals for the future are to attend a 4-year college and continue her cheer career. She's walking tonight with her mom, Michelle Fleming, and her father, Darnell Fleming. Also in attendance are her aunt, grandma Katie Thompson, brothers Devin Fleming and DJ Fleming. Her message to her family: thank you for always supporting me and pushing me to my limits. I love you guys. Katie Fleming. Next up is Blythe Gilbert, nicknamed B. Her position is flyer. Her favorite inspirational person is her mother. Message to underclassmen: never take anything too seriously and always find a way to make someone smile. Her goals for the future is she would love to own her own design business. She wants to become a cheerleader at Arizona State University. Walking with her tonight is her mom, Diana Gilbert, and her father, Sean Gilbert. Her message to her family tonight: thank you for being my biggest supporters. I love you guys. Blythe Gilbert. Next we have Eliana Gelati, varsity song captain. Her favorite inspirational person is her entire family, but especially her mom. Her message to the underclassmen: don't stress about things you can't change. Be yourself, be confident, and know that it's okay to make mistakes. Her goals for the future are to attend a 4-year university. Walking with her tonight is her mom, Christina, her dad, John, and her sister, Giovanna. Her message to her family: thank you for always supporting me and pushing me to my fullest potential. Eliana Gelati. Next up, we have Melody Grant. Position of bass. Her favorite inspirational person is her dad because he is constantly working hard and teaching me important life lessons. Her advice to the underclassmen: don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and remember to give yourself credit for all of your accomplishments. Her goals for the future are to study abroad as well as attend a community college for 2 years and then transfer to a 4-year university. She is walking with her mom tonight, Cherry Grant, and her father, Bruce. And her message to her family is: thank you for always being there for me and showing me constant love and support. Melody Grant. Next is Lena Ishker. She is captain, bass, and tumbler. The most inspirational person is Simone Biles because she doesn't let people confine her talent or her perseverance. Her message to the underclassmen is: work hard, have fun, and enjoy your high school experience. Her goals in the future are to be happy and continue to experience life, and she wants to cheer at the University of Hawaii. She is walking tonight with her mom, Carrie, sister Lana, and her brother Ari. Her message to her family is: to my grandparents, thank you for the endless amount of love and support you have always shown me. Without you, I would have never experienced half the opportunities that I did. To my mom, I love you so much. You were by my side during my hardest times, and without you, I wouldn't be here today. And lastly, to my coaches, Eric and Michael, thank you for teaching me many valuable life lessons, as well as how to be a good person on and off the mat. Lena Ishker. Hannah Lee, whose position is back spot. Her favorite inspirational person is Sue Lee. Her message to the underclassmen is: have fun and don't take anything for granted. Plans to get into a good college for nursing. Her mom's name is Hadrian Lee and David Lee. They are walking with her tonight, as well as her older brother Elliot Lee and younger sister Josephine Lee. Her message to her family is, thank you for all that you guys have done. I love you endlessly. Nicole Park. Most inspirational person is her brothers and her aunt, her brothers and her parents. Her message to underclassmen is have fun, goals for the future, find a career that she loves. Her mom's name is Helen King and her father's name is Joey Park. Message to the family, I love you guys, thank you for everything. Elizabeth Priors, varsity song captain. Favorite inspirational person is her grandpa and her mom. Her message to the underclassmen, don't allow yourself to lose sight of your dreams and aspirations. Be proud of who you are and where you come from. She plans to attend college to become a special education teacher. Would like to attend Cal State Long Beach or Cypress College. Her mom's name is Tiffany, dad's name Mark, stepmom Katrina, sister Jamie, and brother Isaac. Message to her family, thank you guys for always supporting me in every aspect of life. I'll continue to make you all proud and follow my dreams. I love you all. Elena Robinson, bass and back spot favorite individual inspirational person is Jesus. Tells the underclassmen, don't let people define what you do. Wants to buy her mom a house, go to nursing school, walking with her mom, sister, and brother. Sister Taya, she wants to thank her mom for always supporting her and giving her advice, and to all her friends and family in the stands. Thank you for coming out. I love you all. Next is Emily Sawyer, varsity song captain. Her inspirational person is parents. Message to underclassmen is join high school. Don't let stress get in your way. Plans to attend college at Boston University or Penn and major in psychology with a minor in deaf studies. Mom Sherry and dad Jason are walking with her. Thanks her family for being here tonight and always supporting her, like coming to all our games and pushing her to be a better person. Emily Sawyer. Natalie Tuttle, position flyer, favorite inspirational person of parents. Message underclassmen, these 4 years go by fast, enjoy while you can. Goals for the future, wants to continue at UT Austin studying architectural design. Mom Claudia walking with her dad Ty and brother Nicholas. Thank you for always supporting me through all the ups and downs. I wouldn't be here without you guys. Natalie Tuttle. Kylie Valencia, varsity song. Favorite person is her mom, the coaches and dance teachers. Plans for the future with Penn State and major in kinesiology, become an athletic trainer. Mom Jennifer Valencia is with her, and stepdad Chad Gordon. Thank you for always pushing me to my limits and being my biggest supporters. Love you all so much. And also we have Jovial V-Ball, varsity song captain. Her parents and her cousins inspire her. Plans for the future to travel and perform all around the world. College plans to go to UC San Diego. Mom Aubrey with her, dad Joseph, and brother Jagri. Thank you for all the support and opportunities you have given me, for always pushing me to be the best. I love you with all my heart. Congratulations, class of 2022, Cypress, song and cheer. And now our band is coming onto the field. We have our senior band members, Hugo Acevedo on tuba, Joseph Acosta on percussion, Leonard Alfaro on alto sax, Yvette Amal Adefia on ukulele, Catherine Bravo on bass clarinet, Julian Casper French horn, Quinn Chow on trumpet, Liam Sirax on trombone, Jeru Samantha Cruz percussion, Ethan Granch alto sax, Benjamin Flores percussion, Jonathan Garcia baritone sax, Misa Gatto BB clarinet, Kyra Nansen Colliard, Megumi Hata flute, Aiden Koo percussion, Johnson Lee BB clarinet, Brody Lilleberg percussion, Nathan Mancebo percussion, Ryan Nam BB clarinet, Tyler No alto sax, Brian Lynn BB clarinet, Danny Lynn BB clarinet, Jana Park flute, Abby Samawi flute, and Jacob Stone trombone. Congratulations, Cypress High School Imperial Marching Brigade Band Seniors, class of 2022.
Oh, wow. Next week, we're to beat the two top teams in the league. This is different now. So what they're going to do is we're going to do top. Yeah. Okay. This is T-Bone's girlfriend.
Hi, nice to meet you.
This is Biggie. I used to babysit Mr. Wimper's booty.
Very nice.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Do you want me to take the makeup? No, but I was done with a couple of tissues.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for exciting Cypress Centurion football. Welcome to the second half. Cypress leading 21-0 at the half. Good first half of football between the Fighting Irish and the Centurions. Coach Patios, what were your key takeaways from the first half?
Well, I think Cypress came out and did what they needed to do. They took a comfortable lead. By no means is this game over, but 21 points, like we said before the end of the first half, it's one of those deals where whoever can score the next touchdown is really going to make this game interesting. Of course, if Cypress scores at 28-0, you can pretty much call it a wrap. But if Kennedy can get that score and put them 14, we got a whole new ballgame. So it's really incumbent on Kennedy to get a stop, because Cypress is going to start with the ball and then put some points on the board and see if they can get back in this ballgame.
So we hope you enjoyed the halftime festivities as we honored the graduating class of 2022 Cypress High School song and cheerleaders, as well as the seniors from the Cypress High School Imperial Marching Brigade Band, led by Mr. James Carrion.
How about a little shout out to Kent Bickel, the godfather of Cypress podcast. He got this whole game, broadcasting thing started. Of course, he calls Low South football now with former Centurion Justin Conley, who was a linebacker on the 06 team.
Justin Conley, great guy. Kent Bickel, great guy. We owe a debt of gratitude to him.
He got me started in this business.
Learned a lot from Kent Bickel, as did I. And while we're at it, I'd like to say hi to Jordan Bickel, Kent's son.
Yeah. Last time I saw him, he was serving us at California Pizza Kitchen.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Jordan, a great former Centurion as well. Very gifted and talented football player.
Yeah, so anyway, I've had a chance to listen to their podcast. They do a great job. Again, they're Los Alamos having an outstanding season. There's another team that has a great shot to make a run at a CIF title.
Absolutely.
They're playing some great competition, playing great ball right now. See if they can keep it going and finish their season with not only a league championship, but with a CIF title.
Kennedy to kick off their first of the evening. Neil Jansen and Jesse Mauldin back to return. Ball returned by Mauldin. About the 15, cuts back in. He's going to take the ball out to about the 35. Nice little return for Jesse. Where Centurions will take over. 1st and 10.
I think another takeaway from the first half of the big question mark was the health status of Matt Morrell. And we knew he was banged up coming into this game, but he was able to step up, and he took some shots but was still playing. So that's a good thing if you're a Cypress fan, the fact that Matt Morrell is banged up and healthy enough to play and be effective.
Morrell leads his troops out onto the field. Little delay. The refs are discussing something. While we got a moment, I'd like to say hello to our friends at Bolton Orthodontics, located at 6081 Orange Avenue, number 1 in Cypress, California. Give Dr. Bolton a call at 714-826-6770 for the best orthodontic work in all of Southern California. Bolton Orthodontics in Cypress. Back to the action here. Morrell under center. Little early motion, and going to a little big boy football here as Rocco Burdett checks into the offense, lines up in the backfield with Tomas Ramirez. Looks like we're going to have a false start on Cypress. First and 15 from the Cypress 30. Morrell under center. Burdett and Ramirez in the backfield. Monteleone out wide. Handoff to Ramirez. Bounces left. Trying to reach the edge. Gives a little stiff arm to John Bivens and is forced out of bounds. But nice little pickup for Ramirez.
That's a nice heads-up play by Tomas Ramirez. The play was power, designed to go inside, but he was able to adjust, bounce outside, and turn what would have been a 2 or 3 yard gain into a first down. So that's a nice job with Ramirez using his vision and getting outside and then showing off the speed.
It's a great pickup of 15 for Tomas. I know Coach Feldman loves that. If you could get 15 yards on every offensive play, that'd be one happy head coach. Morrell under center again. Burdett in the backfield to escort Ramirez. Burdett, nice block. Ramirez trying tries to empower again, bounce out to the right, goes up the right sideline, this time towards the Cypress sideline, run out of bounds deep into Kennedy territory. Another first down for Tomas Ramirez, where he is marked out of bounds at the 27 of Kennedy. Great start to the second half for the Centurions.
2 plays, 2 runs, 2 first downs. So it looks like Coach Feldman wants to start the second half pounding the ball with that 21-point lead. Not only do they have the scoreboard in the favor, but the clock as well. So if you're Cypress, you want to try to milk as much time as you can and try to end this game as soon as possible.
We got a special guest with us in the booth right now, head freshman coach Chris Watkins for the Cypress Centurions. Morrell under center again. Burdett to the right this time in the backfield. Leads up. Ramirez takes the handoff. Follows his blockers. Nice little run. Gets some payday. And again, Ramirez. 3rd straight carry. 3rd straight first down.
Yeah, right now the offensive line is really doing a good job pushing that defense in front of Kennedy. And again, this is kind of an attitude statement drive for Cypress. They're just coming out and saying, we're going to run the ball, try and stop us.
This is not how Kennedy wanted to start this half, Coach.
Well, they haven't scored yet, so there's still an opportunity for the defense to make a play, but they better do it because they've only got 11 yards to go. So if they're going to get a stop, now's the time.
1st and 10, Cypress from the Kennedy 11-yard line. Right hash, Morrell under center, Burdett and Ramirez in the backfield. Handoff again to Ramirez. Who else? Bounces outside to the left. He's going to stretch it out to the left side, and he's going to lunge for the end zone. Touchdown. Tomas Ramirez, 4 straight carries, 4 straight first downs, last one resulting in payday for the Centurions, 27-0.
That's one of those drives where Cypress is, just gets on the sled in there, just pushing Kennedy all the way down the field. 80 yards, all of it on the ground. That's a great way to start the second half of your Cypress, and now you've really put Kennedy behind the 8 ball. And Cypress has really done a good job of taking control of this ball game early here in the 3rd quarter.
Only took Cypress 1 minute and 6 seconds to score on basically all run plays. Miles Weber for the extra point. Miles Weber now 4 for 4. You know that makes his father happy. That's a 1,000 batting percentage.
Don't forget the kicking, Coach Dave Lewis. We got this all figured out after those first couple of weeks. We were thinking, hey, I'm going to make a PAT, and we were debating whether he should just go for 2 every time they score, but they fixed it.
Dave Lewis and Pete Dodish have done a great job with the kickers at Cypress High School. Hey, folks, you hungry? Don't forget to stop by Subs and Grubs at 5923 West Cerritos Avenue in Cypress, or give them a call at 714-995-5800. Subs and Grubs. Best turkey bacon avocado sandwich on the planet. I love it. It's my personal favorite. Coach Patios, I think you like the roast beef over there.
Yeah, the beef dip.
Whatever you get at Subs and Grubs, it's delicious. Stop by and get the best sandwich in all of Southern California, Subs and Grubs.
Speaking of shout-outs, Mr. Dole, don't you have a big birthday coming up here in a couple days? Next Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken.
As do you, Coach Patios, next Saturday, I believe.
Yours is a little bigger because you're older, so. All of you out there listening, if you go to Cypress, make sure on Tuesday you go by and wish Mr. Dole a happy 51st Grandpa Dole.
However, Coach Patios will be turning 50, which is a milestone birthday, so I have to defer to him.
That's a nice round number, yeah. But I'm not there yet. I'm still in my 40s.
Weber for the kickoff. And we got a whistle to stop the play momentarily. Cypress might have been a little early there. Hey, I also would like to say hi to the rest of our administration at Cypress. Dr. Michelle Surface, one of our assistant principals, and Mrs. Mary Jo Durkin, our other assistant principal. They do such a great job of supporting all the students and faculty at Cypress. We're so fortunate and blessed to have you guys as our administrators. Hope you guys are having a wonderful evening and enjoying the broadcast. Weber to kick off again. Puts it deep. Kennedy back to receive it. Looks like number 3, Nico Brown on the return, who has a little room. However, nicely brought down. That was a nice tackle for Cypress there.
The key keys on kickoff is everybody's got to stay in their lane and squeeze the ball. You don't want to over pursue and you don't want to lose contain. So that was a nice job by Nico of staying in his lane and closing it on the return man and making the tackle.
Coach, you see who made that tackle?
I did not. Who was it?
Blake Cusimano.
All right. You got your back at
quarterback on special teams.
Hey, you never know. Hey, Blake's an athlete. He can run and he can hit, so why not?
Good job, Blake. Kennedy to the left hash mark, the left boundary, closest to Cypress. They're in a 2x2 formation. Motion the receiver, slide across. Looks like a little inside draw, maybe counter. Good for a gain of about 3 for the Irish.
One of the areas that I think Cypress' defense has really stepped up in the last couple games is their run defense, because if you go back to last week and even before that against Tustin, both those teams really struggled on the ground. Kenny hasn't had much success tonight either. You know, they've got their outstanding running back and Cody Massamia, but he really hasn't done much of anything. And so give credit to that front seven, because they've done a really good job choking off all their opponents' run games the last couple of weeks.
When Coach Crooks was the guest on the Cypress High School Sports Show, hosted by athletic directors Mark Slevkov and Jeff Russell this week, he did make mention of Cody Massamia and talking about how good a runner is and how necessary it was going to be to stop him tonight. Herrera back to pass, scrambles around, being pursued. Looks like Aiden Gomez almost had him, but throws over the middle complete. Wow, Herrera made something out of nothing there, and guess who caught the ball again for Kennedy? None other than River Benton.
Now they went from a potentially third and 30 to a first down. And again, that's a great job by Alex Herrera, buying time in the pocket, using his athleticism to avoid danger, finding a player downfield, and again, turning what would have been a disaster into a first down.
I think Herrera's a very gifted quarterback. He's keeping the Fighting Irish in the game tonight, so he deserves a lot of kudos and props. Three-by-one formation for the Fighting Irish. Herrera has the play. Centurions show blitz, and Neil Jansen shoots the gap and meets the running back for no gain. Looks like the intention there was for Gabriel Thomason to carry the ball. However, Neil Jansen had other ideas about that. 28-0 Cypress, 8:37 remaining in the third quarter.
The one thing you don't have right now,
27-0 Cypress, excuse me.
The score is time on your side, and you don't want to rush things, but at the same time, you got to battle that clock as well.
Herrera back to throw. Host of Centurions. Wow. Aiden Gomez. AJ Lynn. Carson Cenamon. And Jacob Wilkie. Woo!
Yeah, it's very rare that all four defensive linemen will meet at the quarterback, but that's a great job. That time, Alex Herrera couldn't get out of the pass rush, and great job by that front four of the Cypress defense to put him on his back and put Kennedy into a 3rd and 22.
That's impressive when all four of them arrive. Coach Crooks has to see that and just be ecstatic. So 3rd and 22 for the Fighting Irish. Ball located at the Cypress 23. Snap to Herrera, back to pass. Rolls to his right. He's looking deep. Has receiver, throws into coverage. Intercepted by Neil Jansen. Oh, I'm sorry, Trevor Monteleone with the pick.
Trevor Monteleone, the ball hawk. It's tough in 3rd and 22. You got to get the ball downfield. The problem is you have all this defensive backs just sitting back waiting. As soon as that ball's in the air, Trevor recognized it, broke on the ball, and got himself an interception. So nice shot by the Cypress secondary, getting a turnover.
Monteleone is such a gifted two-way player for the Centurions. I mean, strong safety and receiver, and he's only a junior, so
Well, don't forget, they talked about putting him at linebacker tonight. They were going to go to a nickel defense because of their 2 linebackers being out. They haven't had to do it so far, but that was something they'd worked on during the week in case, that situation presented itself. So, Monteleone is not only a gifted athlete, but he is physical as well.
Elliot Lemonnier into the game for the first time this evening at quarterback for the Centurions. Burdett in the backfield along with Tomas Ramirez. Hand off to Ramirez. Goes up the middle, bounces to the right. Wrapped up by a host of Fighting Irish, however. Still picks up a gain of about 6 for the Centurions. We'll bring up second down and 4. Ball's going to be marked at the Kennedy 47.
Coach Feldman's come out in the second half with a 2 tight end, 2 back offense. And they run the ball 6 plays in a row now, and it looks like they're just going to try to push on that Kennedy front 7 and not only get field position, but milk the clock as well. They've got a 27-point lead. They're in great position. So now time is definitely on the Cypress Centurion side, so they're in no rush. They're going to just try to milk this for all they can.
Lemonnier under center again. And once again, a handoff to Ramirez. Bounces again. Another first down, Centurions. Coach, we don't often say this about a Coach Feldman offense. However, I think it bears noting right now, Coach Feldman is playing smash mouth football.
Yeah, look, we got the CIF playoffs coming up. Regardless of how Cypress did tonight or next week, they're in the playoffs. And so if you're going to make a run at CIF championship, you can't be one-dimensional. You're going to have to run the ball. You're going to have to show your opponents that you can, in fact, run the ball. And this gives your running backs as well as your offensive line confidence going forward. So I like what they're doing in the second half, and hopefully it's something they can build on.
Same formation again. Burdett and Ramirez in the backfield with Lemonnier under center. And again, Ramirez gets it. Actually held Ramirez to only a gain of 2 there, which is, for lack of a better term, a moral victory for the Fighting Irish right now. Going to bring up second down and 8. Cypress, ball spotted at the 37 of Kennedy. Single receiver out wide is Trevor Monteleone. Toss right. Tomas Ramirez has some real estate, and he's going to go for a touchdown, Coach. Tomas Ramirez. Pay dirt.
Yeah, and this is just that part of the game where Cypress is out. Remember, Kennedy is finally, I think, conceding defeat. Cypress is running the ball. Kennedy can't stop him, and it looks like at this point, Cypress is going to keep the streak alive at, what are we up to, 6 now?
Looks like it.
And now it'll be 13 out of 14 for the Centurions against their crosstown rival, which is a good thing if you're a Cypress fan. If you're a Kennedy fan, not so much.
Weber onto the field for the extra point. 5th attempt of the evening. 4th successful. So with 4:46 left in the third quarter, Cypress extends their lead to 34-0.
Of course, looking ahead, both these teams have one more game to go. Kennedy will finish up against Pacifica next week. Cypress will travel to Valencia, where they'll look to finish their Empire League play with a perfect 5-0 record. With a win tonight, they've already clinched their 3rd straight Empire League championship, so shout out to the players and coaches. But they still got work to do. They want to finish the league season play undefeated as they get ready to gear up for the CIF playoffs.
And CIF playoffs are going with a different format this year. They're adopting the format that is used in the San Diego section, so it should be very interesting. Weber's brings the kickoff team onto the field. Hey, I'd like to say hi to the Cypress High School guidance counselors, Miss Carrie Vaughn, Mrs. Anita Gaston, Miss Mary Binford, Miss Erica Yee, Mrs. Simone Pickens, and Mr. Ozzie Hurtado. Thanks for all the great work you do. Hope you're enjoying the game. Weber on the kick for the Centurions. Down to the Kennedy sideline, ball goes out of bounds, so Kennedy's going to start with some good field position. Cypress High School athletic directors Jeff Russell and Mark Slevko say hi to you guys. They were busy gentlemen today, as our is our Empire League champion volleyball team, girls volleyball team, won their 7th straight title, Coach, and their 25th in school history, hosted crosstown rival Los Alamitos in the Cypress High School gym tonight at 5:30. So curious to see how they did.
They won.
They won. Awesome.
Off to LaSalle on Saturday.
That is beautiful. 7 straight Empire League titles for our girls volleyball team. That is dominance.
And you know the head coach went to high school, right?
Coach Griffiths went to Los Alamitos.
Coach Griffiths was a Griffin.
So congratulations, Cypress High School girls volleyball team. On to the next round of CIF, and congratulations on your 7th straight Empire League title. That is just dominance. Herrera back to pass for Kennedy, complete over the middle. And once again, looks like Ben with the reception. Big gain for the Fighting Irish, and you know what? I'm really impressed with Ben tonight, Coach.
Well, I talked to Nick Rothingham, one of the coaches today, and we were talking about the Benton brothers, and he actually said, as good as Hunter is, River Benton's just as effective. The only problem is he's been banged up all year, so he hasn't had a chance to show what he can do, but now we're starting to see him tonight as he's getting healthy. He's an outstanding receiver in and of himself, so you talk about 2 outstanding brothers. It's a shame they're seniors because these 2 guys have been a heck of a combination to watch had they been healthy.
Herrera back to pass. Steps up in the pocket, throws a little high. Pass intended for Devin Bell of the Kennedy Fighting Irish, 5'9" sophomore. Bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Fighting Irish. Ball spotted at the Cypress 44-yard line. 4:19 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Cypress 34, Kennedy 0. Carson Cenamon and Jacob Wilkie. Tremendous pressure on Herrera.
Boy, all night long, Herrera's been under duress. That front 7 for Cypress has just been lights out. They are sending the blitz, and they are after him. And you know, sometimes he can get out of there and escape it, but other times he's been under a lot of pressure. And you know, it's tough to throw the ball off your back foot. So he's got to find those open receivers and hit him, because sitting back in that pocket has been very dangerous for the Kennedy quarterback tonight.
I'd like to also say hi tonight to the Kennedy Athletic Director, Dave Jankowski. Hope you're enjoying the game, Dave. Run a great program over there at Kennedy, the athletic program for Kennedy High School. Athletic Director Dave Jankowski. Hope you're enjoying the game, Dave. 3rd down and 10 for the Fighting Irish. From the Cypress 44, Herrera takes a snap, rolling back, under pressure, tosses the ball away. Cypress defender falls down, ball falls to the ground. Going to bring up 3rd down and 10. 4th down and 10, excuse me. Also like to say hi to our friends at the Cypress Police Department. Chief Mark Louderback and School Resource Officer Angus Yu. Thank you for all the great work you do, Cypress Police Department, and all the protection that you afford the citizens of Cypress. We appreciate all the great work you do.
4th and 10 for Kennedy. This is a situation they've got to go for it. I mean, at the very least, you want to get some kind of moral victory, get some points on the board. The last thing you want to do in a rival game is not only lose, but get shut out.
Also like to thank the Anaheim Police Department, who is in attendance tonight, here to protect and serve. Thank you for your service and all the great work you ladies and gentlemen do as well. 4th and 10 for Kennedy. No other option but to go for it. Herrera takes a snap. Scrambles to his left, scrambles to his right. Muhammad Hussein. And that is that.
Blasted on that play. Again, the Cypress is bringing pressure with that front 4, causing all kinds of disruption for Officer Herrera. I don't know if he's been able to set up and throw a ball once tonight without putting his back foot into it.
Cypress will take over, turnover on downs. Hey, folks. One of our corporate sponsors that is so instrumental in supporting Cypress football is the Yamaha Motor Corporation USA, located at 6555 Catella Avenue in Cypress, 90630. You can reach them at 714-761-7300 or yamaha-motor.com. Yamaha Motor Corporation USA, the leader in creating a lifetime of exciting and memorable experiences. Back to the action. Lemonnier with a handoff. It's like a gain of about 4 for the Centurions. Going to bring up second down and 6 from the Kennedy 40. Lemonnier under center again. Hand off to Jesse Mauldin into the game for the Centurions' first carry. And Mauldin busts one. Cuts back. Nice little game of about 17 for Jesse Mauldin.
Jesse Mauldin, last year's freshman MVP, only a sophomore, getting some touches on the ground. I'd love to see that. And he was a heck of a running back for us last year, and now he's getting his touches on the varsity level. And he's going to be a heck of a player here for the next couple of years for the Centurions.
Jesse Mauldin, definitely the future of the running back position at Cypress. Only a sophomore. Lemonnier gets his instructions from Coach Feldman. Burdett in the backfield with Mauldin split wide out right. Monteleone. Hand off to Mauldin. Cuts right, goes back up the middle. Maybe a gain of about 1.
How about Nate Rios making a play in the backfield, the sophomore linebacker, top tackler on the team. Trying to get some moral victories here for Cypress. For Kennedy, though. If Cypress does score, I believe the clock rule comes into effect where, is it 35 points? In the fourth quarter, the clock will run regardless of the outcome of a play.
Coach Feldman being respectful right now, not throwing the ball at all, just keeping it simple by running. Again, Lemonnier under center. Takes a snap, Burdett leads up, Mauldin behind him, finds a little seam, goes to the right sideline. Knocked out of bounds at about the Kennedy 7. Nice little run by Jesse Mauldin.
Jesse actually took out his own player, Trevor Monteleone, on that play, laid the hit. Unfortunately, it was a Cypress player he did some damage to. You know, Coach Feldman's also being respectful to us by running the ball. This is, of course, a work night. So we're going to...
It is Thursday evening.
Very tired tomorrow morning. It's been a long day.
Hey, thank you to the Cypress High School Athletic Booster Club for all the support you afford all the student athletes and coaches in every sport at Cypress High School. We couldn't do it without you. Cypress High School Athletic Booster Club, thank you so much. Back to the action. Lemonnier under center. Handoff again to Mauldin. Cuts left up the middle. Dragged down to about the 2-yard line of Kennedy.
Again, the Cypress offensive line is doing a great job of making holes for these running backs. They're just pushing Kennedy all the way up and down the field here in the second half. And, you know, one of the best ways to kill the will of your opponent is to run the ball. And it's just been body blow after body blow after body blow. And it looks like Cypress is going to get another touchdown here. They're only 1 yard away. Let's see if they can finish off the drive.
I think getting Jesse Mauldin in the end zone would be a great confidence builder for him as well. Here we go, second down and goal to go. Lemonnier looks like I had trouble to snap, but gives it to Mauldin. Mauldin looks like he crossed the goal line, no signal yet. There it is, touchdown, Jesse Mauldin. Great job, Cypress offensive line.
Boy, in Cypress' second half, the running game has been phenomenal. They haven't thrown the ball once, and they're just pushing Kennedy up and down the field. 40 points on the board tonight for the Centurions, pending the PAT. And this is a complete and utter domination by the Cypress offensive front.
Oh, line doing a great job. Gomez and Fonseca in there. Outstanding blocking. Extra point attempt. Thompson a hold. Weber with the PAT attempt. Kick is up, and it is good, and the lead is extended to 41-0. Cypress with 1 minute and 7 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Special thanks to the Cypress High School PTSA for all the support you give the students and faculty at Cypress. We appreciate it. Cypress High School PTSA. And of course, we would not be able to bring you this game tonight without our producer and director, Mr. Dean Delgado, and the wonderful staff he has with us tonight of Baha, Fahad, Ali, Mercy, and Shams. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to broadcast the game and all the wonderful work you do. Our production staff and director, Mr. Dean Delgado. Hey, Coach, how's Bill Gagnon doing?
Is he listening?
He's got to be.
I don't know. The last time we talked to him, he was at a Devo concert, so...
I was jealous.
Yeah, I was too. I didn't know those guys are still around.
I love Devo.
I don't know. Maybe he'll shoot us a text and check in, but if not, he's got his great podcast that you can listen to.
I love the Gag Nation. Bill Gagnon. Oh, Oxford Bill. Weber's with the kickoff. Fielded at the 5-yard line. Kennedy running it back. Nice little return generated there for the Fighting Irish. Looks like about a 19 or 20-yard return. And I'd like to give a special thanks to the Cypress High School Football Booster Club as well for all the great work they do supporting Cypress High School football. You know, they get us team meals, and during 2 days they provide food, and of course, Coach Charlie Williams with the great barbecue and all that stuff, and Kim Monteleone and Terry Thompson and all the rest of the parent volunteers who comprise the Cypress High School Football Booster Club. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much for your support and your help. Back to the action live here. Herrera back to throw in a 3-by-1 formation, looking deep down the right sideline, has a man, and it is complete and caught. So Kennedy's going to hit some pay dirt. And it is a touchdown for the Fighting Irish. Nicely done. Great ball by Herrera.
Yeah, put it right on the money. He had a wide receiver who was open by about 6 yards, and
Believe it was Benton. River Benton on the score.
yeah, he's been the man tonight for Kinney. If there's one silver lining in that cloud for Kinney, is the fact that Ben's been so effective. Of course, with that score, Kinney puts it under 35 points, so we will not have a running clock at this point when we start the fourth quarter.
It's appropriate that River Benton scores a touchdown. He's been working hard all night, and the Kennedy faithful enjoy that.
That was a great route. It was a great throw, and that was the offense we were expecting to see. It took them a little longer than they'd hoped to get on the scoreboard, but on the board nonetheless.
Extra point is fumbled, and Cypress bottles it up. So with 44 seconds remaining in the third quarter, it is Cypress 41, Kennedy 6. Quick strike by the Fighting Irish there, able to get that touchdown in only 22 seconds.
So if you're Kennedy, do you onside?
Absolutely.
Well, it looks like Cypress thinks the way you're thinking, and they're going to have their hands teams out there with all their defensive personnel, or excuse me, the return personnel up close, anticipating the onside kick.
Coach, I have an update. Dodgers 11, Atlanta 2, final.
We're going back to the ATL. I love it. That will be
love it.
Saturday and Sunday, correct?
I believe so. Of course, Atlanta leads the series 3-2, but last year, remember, the Dodgers were trailing Atlanta 3-1 and came back to win the series. So anything is possible.
Just got to win two, and they won 100. What are they up to? About 112 right now?
Boy, oh boy.
They won a lot of games this year, so.
They won 106 in the regular season. So, yeah, 112. Timeout on the field as Kennedy gets ready to kick off. Jansen and Mauldin back deep for the Centurions. Jansen fields the ball at about the 27-yard line. Good for a return of about 7-yard lines out to the 34 of Cypress, where they'll take over 1st and 10. Wonder if we'll see Blake Cusimano in at quarterback at all tonight, Coach.
Well, with a 35-point lead, Cypress has the luxury of kind of getting anyone and everyone in the ballgame. So, of course, you want to see those guys get in that don't normally get an opportunity to play. And Blake Cusimano will certainly be one of those players. You know, Jake Lemaire's already been in. Certainly Matt Morrell's gotten his touches. So, yeah, at some point you might see some of those other guys get some opportunity to get in.
We got Memphis Stover into the game for the Centurions, and there he is. Blake Cusimano takes over at quarterback. Michael Hubbard also checks in for the Centurions.
So Feldy's emptying the benches. I love it.
Hubbard split to the right sideline for the Centurions. Stover in the backfield. Handoff from Cusimano. Goes to his left. Cuts up the middle. Nice little run by Memphis.
You know, it seems like anytime Memphis gets the chance to get in the game, he's pretty effective. He runs hard. He plays with a lot of passion. And, you know, he's one of those guys. He's kind of an emotional leader. And, you know, his first carry of the night's for 9 yards.
That's going to be a great little, you know, running back duo. You're going to lose Ramirez and Jansen to graduation. However, you got Stover and Mauldin, who are both sophomores, playing varsity this year. So you're going to refill the cupboard, it looks like.
Yeah, that cupboard is definitely full. So that's good news for the Cypress Centurions. They got an offensive line that returns a lot of key personnel. Of course, Moore will be back next year, who missed this season because of a leg injury. So
you got Snyder coming back, who's only a junior on defense. You got Monteleone coming back.
Yeah, next year's juniors and seniors will have all been undefeated as freshman football players. So the future's looking bright for Cypress. I mean, they still got a lot of work to do this season, but if you're looking ahead to the upcoming years, a lot of good things to look forward to if you're a Cypress fan.
Burdette, and of course, Matthew Morrell.
Yeah, don't forget Matt Morrell. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of key people coming back. Trevor Monteleone, he'll be back.
And, of course, you know, there's a very talented freshman team who, even in spite of that loss today, is still 7-1, or 8-1, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good when you're disappointed about a 9-1 season, which is what they're probably because.
And they were competitive. I mean, you know, they lose 16-7 today, and I know they're disappointed. But, you know, that's a great freshman group, and Coach Watkins and Archuleta and Coach Simon have done a great job preparing those young men to play varsity and JV football next year for the Centurions.
Yeah, and the nice thing is Kennedy is definitely closing the back gap. I know it doesn't seem like that with the score tonight, but you look at their freshman teams the last few years, those games have been good and competitive, and so maybe this series will get a lot more interesting in the upcoming years. We'll just have to wait and see.
Cusimano, shotgun formation, gives a Stover who stopped. You know, Kennedy being our arch rival, it just seems like it's more fun when it is a competitive series. You know, kind of like the Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers, Giants, or, you know, Notre Dame, USC, you know, any great sports rivalry. Ohio State, Michigan.
You don't want it to be one-sided. You want it to be competitive and in doubt and come down to the end. That's what makes it so exciting. I remember a couple years ago when it came down to the very end, both the fans, if you remember, were in the end zone on the field, and it was awesome just to see the passion, the intensity, and one rival game coming down to one last play. It's pretty cool. The
vision I have from that game, or the memory I have, is our former principal, Dr. Jody Wales. So if she's listening, hey, Dr. Wales, hope everything's well. Her trying to hold back the crowd, if you remember that. That's like putting your finger in a dent. It was not going to happen. At some point, you just got to give in and say, all right, whatever happens, happens. There's a very famous picture around Cypress High School of her trying to hold back the crowd, and it was awesome. You know? So Cusimano in the shotgun formation again. Looks like we are going running clock, Coach. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's 35 or what the point total has to be, but it is running regardless. Little handoff to Memphis Stover. Gets a couple of yards. And right now, Cypress is in no hurry. They're just going to take their time in the huddle, take their time breaking the huddle, and just keep pounding that ball and running the clock. Cusumano fakes the handoff, runs himself to the right. Nice little pickup for Blake. Also checking into the game for the Centurions is Dylan Gallipo at wide receiver.
So, Coach, this will actually be our last broadcast of the year. They're on the road next week at Valencia, and then CIF, I guess, has a rule, even if we're home, that you cannot call your home games. I guess you got to pay a big fee or something like that. So this will be the last game for us, but what a great last game to have against your rival on a night where Cyprus is going to win their 3rd straight Empire League Championship. A lot to be proud of, overcome a lot of adversity this year, and
it's been a lot of fun being up here, too. This has been a great experience.
No doubt about it.
3rd and 2 for Cyprus. Handoff to Stover. Is he going to get a first down? Cuts it back up to the right, and he has a first down. Nice, nifty running there, Memphis.
There's a flag on the field, so hold everything.
That looks like it's going to be a hold based on where it's thrown. And indeed it is. Coach Feldman giving instruction to Blake Cusumano. Clock is running. 8:17 left in the ballgame. 41-6. Cyprus leading Kennedy. Cyprus has the ball on their own 45-yard line where they're looking at a 3rd down and 12 situation. High snap to Cusumano, fields a little toss right to Memphis Stover, who is met by a host of Kennedy Fighting Irish. Great job balling up that play. Going to bring up 4th down and 12, and on comes to the field the Cyprus punt team. First time we've seen this special teams unit tonight for Coach Terry Thompson.
Eric Toscano, the outside linebacker, did a really good job on the pitch play, recognizing it, getting upfield and squaring up, making the tackle, of course. Eric Toscano is the number 2 tackler on the team. He's also number 2 on the team in sacks. So, you look at those linebackers for Kennedy, they've got some outstanding players, certainly some difference makers, and Eric Toscano is making his presence known and felt on that last play.
Looks like Cyprus a man short on the punt team, and then Dylan Gallipo scurries onto the field. Actually, 2 men short. Jesse Mauldin back to punt for the Centurions. The Cyprus faithful are celebrating already. The student section has a little color out going. Got to give props to the Cyprus ASB, led by Miss Sarah Binford and Mr. Mike Cobley, and our wonderful ASB president, Joey Hannafin.
And how about the crowd tonight for a Thursday night game? Generally speaking, you don't get nearly as many fans because it's a work night and a school night for a lot of families, but good crowd on both sides of the ball.
Great crowd. Jesse Mauldin, the left-footed punter, gets it away. Nice little return by Kennedy there. Going to pick up some ground, and on the return was Javi Lovely for the Fighting Irish, a 5'8 junior. Kennedy will take over at the 49-yard line, their own 49-yard line, 1st down and 10.
Well, I guess we can answer our trivia question of the night. We had 2 of them, actually. Who was the last Kennedy head coach to beat Cyprus? The other one was, who was the last Kennedy quarterback to win the CIF championship? We'll give you that answer right after this play.
Coach, I know the answer.
Let's hear it.
The last coach to beat Cyprus was none other than our good friend, Sean Clark.
The legendary Sean Clark, who's the head commissioner of FNL, the Tustin chapter and the Cyprus chapter. So if you guys out there listening want to play some Friday Night Lights and you live in the Cyprus area, get on his website. And I don't know, we were going to have him on at halftime and tell a little bit more about the program, but FNL and Cyprus.
And of course, the last quarterback to win CIF at Kennedy occurred in 2006. Our other great friend, the legendary Mr. Eric Okula.
Both employees of the AUHSD district.
High snap to the Kennedy quarterback. Recovered, however, at a great loss of yardage.
Now, I don't know if you're aware of this. I'll throw one last trivia question at you. Kennedy actually has 2 CIF championships in the school history. Do you know when their first one came?
1971.
How do you know that? What the heck?
I have been to Kennedy High School many times and seen the Wall of Fame out on their football field.
All right, well, I didn't know until this week when I went onto Wikipedia and did a little research. But, yeah, back in 71, they won their first title.
Yes, they did.
Do you know who the coach was?
I do not know that.
Good, because that would have been really weird.
Yes, Kennedy has CIF titles in 1971 and 2006. New quarterback in the game for the Fighting Irish is Tanish Davidi. He's a sophomore, 5'10", 150 pounds. Hands off to the new running back just in the game for the Fighting Irish, Jesse Hernandez, who is a 5'7", 190-pound senior. Kennedy on the field of punt, where it's 4th down and 24. Running clock down to 3:28 remaining in the ball game. 41-6, Cypress over Kennedy. Can I sing it, Coach?
Turn out the lights on?
Turn out the lights. The party's over.
No, you can't. Good Lord.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what you can do. You're a Laker fan.
Die
There's
hard.
the famous quote by Chick Hearns at the end of every game. Can you recite that?
The butter's cooling and the jello's jiggling.
The game is in the icebox, the jello's jiggling, and the butter's getting hard.
God, I miss Chick Hearn.
If you think about it, some of the best announcers in the history of all sports were from LA, whether it be Chick Hearn, you got Vince Scully with Dodgers.
How about Bob Miller for the Kings?
Yeah, I was gonna say him third. I mean, those are iconic announcers, and to be able to grow up listening to those guys. I mean, that scene in Fletch when he comes home and puts on the Lakers, we're on Channel 9, like just falling asleep. I mean, those were the days.
KHJ Channel 9.
No, I don't. There's a lot of famous Cypress alums are coming back to visit. Dave Fletcher, the outstanding Angels on the sidelines. Next to
Los
Coach
Angeles
Weber.
Angels.
Yep.
Number 22, David Fletcher. Cypress class of 2013 CIF champion under the guidance of John Weber. Under 2 minutes remaining in the ballgame. 41-6 Cypress. Just wrapping up their 7th victory of the season. Going to get ready for the Valencia Tigers next week at Bradford Stadium in beautiful Placentia, California. That is a nice stadium that Valencia has there since they upgraded it about 10 years ago.
Yeah, you know, Tustin was really cheering for that game are the Tigers, because if Cypress were to come up short, and you got to figure Tustin's going to beat Crean Lutheran in their last game, there would be a two-way tie for first place. Even though Cypress did beat Tustin and have head-to-head, they would go in as the first-place team. If I'm not mistaken, the way the league constitution's written up, if two teams are tied, regardless of head-to-head, it would be a co-championship.
It's going to be interesting to see where these teams end up in CIF as well, what divisions. As we alluded to earlier, they've adopted the San Diego style, which means basically even if you're a league champion, you still get seeded 1 to 16 in the division you're in. So hypothetically, you could be a league champion, and if you're a 9 seed, you got to go on the road to play an 8 seed who could be like a third-place finisher from another league. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all works out.
Right. Well, back in the day, each division had a certain amount of leagues that represent that division, so all teams in your league would go to CIF in that division. But you get in a situation where Pacifica, Tustin, and Cypress are in 3 different divisions. Although they're very similar this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if at least 2 of the 3 were in the same division, but that'll all be determined by CIF in a couple weeks. But you know, at the very least, Cypress will go in as a league champion. The question is where do they get placed, to what division, and what kind of seed will they get. Should be interesting.
Mateo Palmerian gets a carry for the Centurions. Also see Xavier Ibarra into the game for the Centurions. Good to see these guys getting some playing time as the clock ticks down, and that's going to be the final play of the ball game, Coach. Thank you for a great season. Thank you for all the support to the fans out there. Cypress is going to move to 7-2.
You got the dean and the kids that come out here and set this up. They don't get paid anything, and they're doing this on their own time, which allows us to bring the game to all the people who want to watch it. It's been awesome.
This has been a great season. First time broadcasting here in quite a while. And thank you for all the great work, Coach Padios, and hopefully we can do this again soon. And good luck to the Kennedy Fighting Irish the rest of the season, as well as our Cypress Centurions, who moved to 7-2. Kennedy will move to 4-4, 1-3 in league. Cypress 7-2, 4-0 in league. And both these teams have one more league game to play as they prepare for a CIF. On behalf of Coach Mo Padios, this is Coach Kevin Dole. Thank you for tuning in this season. All the best to you and your families. Good night and God bless.